Hello.
And welcome
Welcome
to
to Weekly
another
Stand-Up.
episode
Yeah.
of You are
Here,
watching
here.
episode 5 of the Weekly Stand-Up, your weekly comedy show for all things funny. All right, Jess, you ready to
Oh,
do some
oh
stand-up?
no. Oh no. I'm not prepared.
What? You weren't
Um,
ready for our weekly stand-up show? That's all
I
about
know.
comedy?
Why did we not think that through in like the show's conception? I feel like that should have been our first.
I think Mad Lad or Mike might have brought it up, but
Uh,
On my own stream. I literally tell him that there's another thing that mentions this, like off the rails, and he's
yeah.
like, "You didn't say anything."
it's okay. We're firing both Mad Laden and Mike after this,
All right,
so
and I'm ending the stream.
we will be crowdsourcing their jobs. No, I'm just kidding.
Mike, can we get a mic cam? Can we get a
Oh no, Mike came
Mike
today. I'm sorry.
can't.
Oh, no cam
Aw.
today? No mic cam.
Yeah,
All right.
everything was a blunder, so not ready.
Mike
Sorry.
is
Oh,
in
it's
a
all right.
liminal space today. Send him your thoughts and
I'm
prayers.
stuck in the C-suite dimension.
Oh God, no. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry.
wait, say hello to Jay Ellen Brack and Bobby Kotick for me.
I already punched him in the nards. It's all good.
Oh, hell yeah, Mike. Balls. Yeah,
Well, we have a great show planned for you today.
heckin' yeah, we do.
Despite us joking around a lot, it's actually been quite a week. I'm exhausted, as you can probably tell by all of this. But yeah, we have a great show. We're going to talk about GDC and some other cool stuff going on. So we also have an interview with a dev from Activision, so that's going to be fun. Stick around for that.
His name was is Alan. It's not was
Well,
Alan.
was
He's still it's
we
still
murdered
it's
him?
still to this day Alan.
After
It was
everything with
Alan.
Alan Brack, he
Rip.
decided to change it.
Oh,
And yeah, he's a QA tester at Activision Publishing. So looking forward to talking with him. You made contact with him at GDC this week,
I
right?
did. Yeah, we both worked the Code CWA booth, which was awesome. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about that. Like the coolest experience at GDC. Also my first GDC. So,
That was your first GDC. Oh damn.
yeah, I went as a union organizer, so going big.
That's so on brand, Jess.
Oh my God, yeah. I can't wait to like talk about GDC because it just was such a mindfucky experience.
It's wild. It's really cool. We're going to be talking about GDC. That's going to be the meat of the topic today. I'll be talking a little bit about the history of GDC as we get into the more fun stuff. But first, let's start with the news of the week.
Wait,
A few news items. What's
I
up,
have to
Mike?
interrupt. I have
Yeah,
some
what's
special news we need to
some
talk about.
special? One second.
Yeah,
Special
One second.
news.
We've
yeah.
got
Breaking
we've got some special
We
news.
got we got some
breaking
special news.
news.
I
Okay,
had a
Mike.
window for it, and it closed. So give me 1 second. I will reopen that window.
Great.
But you know, not everyone watches our not off the rails Kitty.
Kitty.
Not off the rails segments that we do to A, have fun, and B, do more content. But as of this past Thursday, we are now Twitch affiliate.
Woo!
Hey.
Good job, team.
Good job. We are now affiliated with Twitch.
We have
Oh
some
yeah.
hot meme emotes on the way. But if you want to be the first meme to have popped up under the last subscriber tab, this is your opportunity. Hit us with that Bezos money. Do not let him get to keep it.
As long as we can get one emote, a goose with a knife in its beak.
Oh, hell yes. Yes. Well, we'll talk about this in our production meeting afterwards.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Awesome. That's yeah, it's so cool to be honored and recognized by Twitch for this affiliate status. I might have prepared a small speech for this
Oh,
moment.
Oh,
no.
wait.
Let
It
me
was
get my
Josh's segment the whole time.
let me get
Speech.
my reading glasses. All right. Gotta get my sorry, let me put on my speech rings. I have rings that I wear for speeches.
Is this the
Okay.
Hidden Lantern Corps or?
Dear Twitch, thank you. All right, that's all.
I should have said it was
I
the
like
Elden
it. Short
Ring.
and sweet.
Yep, that's what they call me. Um
You're taking short valor right now. As a short man, you're taking short valor.
Fort Valor. So transition.
Yeah.
Uh,
Segues.
so first item on today's agenda, Google Fiber workers have unionized. That's awesome.
Google Fiber workers. So they unionized under the Alphabet Workers Union, which is affiliated with Code CWA. And they were also at GDC, so that'll be fun to talk about as well. So Yeah, good for them. Everyone, now is the time for Google Fiber. Support unionized labor, and then you'll see more of it. And you'll see happier people and better products.
Whatever gets me
Now
Google
it's
Fiber. I've wanted it for
Also,
years.
my internet goes out at least once a day, so I will
Yep.
be switching to Google Fiber
we can't
as
have
soon as
that
I can.
because, monopolies. So
Oh,
sorry. You're
I,
stuck with whatever telecom agency has monopolized your area code.
Josh, you're part of the
it's
problem. You
Spectrum.
work for one of those telecom agencies.
Sorry, that's just capitalism.
Sorry, what are you gonna do? We work in a society of sorry.
Oh my god.
Uh,
This is Josh's Joker era. You're watching it happen live now.
yeah, I unfortunately do work for. I think the correct term is Comcast, NBC, Universal, and blah blah blah, et
With
cetera, et cetera, et
DreamWorks as a
cetera.
subsidiary.
DreamWorks, G4 owned by all of the above. Um, but yeah, so is this like a regional kind of union, kind of like how certain like regional Starbucks have unionized, or is this
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. So it's like it is a subsection of the Google Fiber team, but they're unionized along with other Google. There's like sections. It's kind of like
Yeah.
how we're doing it with ABK because it's such a large. I can hear
Mike,
you,
we can
Mike.
hear you.
Mike, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh
Whoops.
my God. So we're just yelling into the void because the stream can't hear. Oh Lord, this is a great show. Um,
Um,
yeah, so they unionized. Good for them. Do we
yeah, hell
have
yeah.
the photo, Mike? We get that.
Oh, I think it was up before, and then we
Oh,
moved.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, good for them. Super happy. Also, their logo looks really cool. Yeah,
And
super
this is
cool.
great. I think that there's a lot of people who might. Sorry, my cat is really. What's up, bud? You want to be on stream? You want to talk about unions?
We are having a day. I'm sorry, chat.
We
We're
are.
having a
Hey,
day.
it's chill. This is an
What's up?
intimate stream. We
He
are having
cares.
a good time.
He cares
Oh,
about the workers' rights. Let me tell you, he has a lot to say about it.
just
But I
like
think
jorts.
there's just like I have a lot to say about George too. I think there's a lot of people who might discount these regional local unionization efforts because it's like, well, what's if it's just a local Starbucks, if it's just a local Google Fiber, like subsidiary, like what are the how are they really going to make a large impact, a large splash in the landscape? But these are the grassroots sort of movements that form into larger movements, right? Like Bernie
Exactly.
Sanders' campaign started very regional, very local. Like he's a senator from Vermont. Nobody even knows where Vermont is, but he made it to the big leagues. He almost like he had a real shot at becoming president until big pharma and big gas and big boys forced him
Big
out.
titties.
Yeah, before big titties forced out Bernie Sanders.
I'm gonna be real. I'm okay with capitalism if it means being in the pocket of Big Titty.
Honestly, there's a market, so
Today's episode is canceled. Sorry.
yeah, we're already
Good night,
canceled. We're banned
everybody.
from. We got affiliate. We're banned from Twitch immediately.
Oh my god,
Oh
he
my
actually
God.
he sent us to the starting. No, Mike, bring us back. Anyways, that's no, it's super cool to see regional movements like this, and I
Me
gotta
too.
let my
I'm
fucking
excited.
cat out because he's just making so much noise. So,
Yo,
Jess, take it away.
pop
The
that
cat's out of the
pussy.
bag. Yeah.
Next is a
So,
More Perfect Union. There
oh
you were featured in a video by the More Perfect Union. I watched it. It was really good.
yeah,
Talk
yeah.
about
So, I'm gonna talk about myself because why not? Yeah, More Perfect Union talked about like my story and the story of some Raven QA testers as well as a VR tester, and in a piece that like highlights the exploitation that goes on in quality assurance in the video game industry. So that was really cool. Also, they used my face, which is like, "Hey," for, like, their thumbnail, which is pretty cool, but yeah, it was a really
So much of
depth interview, and yeah, I just if you haven't seen it, it's really talks about a lot of the stuff that we're going through and why we're campaigning, why we're unionizing, so
Yeah, it also there was a part in it. First of all, very well made video. More Perfect Union usually makes well produced videos, and as a video editor, just watching it, I was like, oh, nice. This is like well done.
Yeah.
But also there was a part, I forget who it was, but one of the people featured is talking about her long-term eye damage as a result of being a
Yes.
VR QA analyst, which is something I never really even thought about. They bring it up in the video that like you're only supposed to, most VR goggle manufacturers recommend, no more than 40 to 60 minutes and then like take a break for your eyes because people get motion sickness and it can cause eye damage. So like for QA testers who have no choice, like it's their job, you have to test a
Mhm.
game for like 8 hours a day or more. That eye strain and also that like nausea, like can lead to long-term chronic nausea or eye damage. So that's something I never really thought about. Like, wow, QA testers have it rough already having to stare at a screen for the amount of time that they do it in a day, but having to do it with VR goggles, I can't even imagine that kind of strain.
So this is super meta. I'm like watching myself giving an interview while we're discussing this, so it's funny. Um, but yeah, it's wild to see. And then you know what sucks too is like those people are all contracted
Mm.
and they have no little to no benefits. If they were to elect into their benefits, they would actually not be able to afford to live. So a lot of them, like myself, were on Medi-Cal as a contractor because you can't afford anything else. It's like government, so you're not only sustaining long-term damage from the work that you're doing, you're not even supported with benefits or anything. So they really just kind of want labor for, against the workers' best interests, which is why we're pushing really hard for unionization. It's why you're seeing a lot of that happen. Um, and yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
honestly, those people should be getting, people like QA,
hazard pay,
testers, they
100%.
100% should be getting hazard pay, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But well done, really good video, it's cool to see you in that. How long ago was that? When did they contact you and film all of that?
yeah, so they filmed, funny enough, a week before I was supposed to get my braces off. So I still have braces in
No.
those. And I was like, dang. And then when I posted on Twitter, they're like, Jess has her braces off now. And I was like, damn. But no, they filmed it like 2 weeks before GDC. And they let us know that they were going to post it around GDC because it's going to be like a high visibility thing, game devs, which is a great idea. And it got a lot of traction. They actually posted it on a TikTok, which I made the mistake of reading the comments there. Don't read the comments on
Oh,
TikTok ever.
no.
Because yeah, those were comments were not it.
Never
Yeah,
read the comments, I feel like that just goes for anything, like, just don't.
so true.
Did
Don't
you guys
subject yourself to that kind of stuff.
did you guys
Comments
want
were a
to
mistake.
did you guys want to play through the section about the girl in her eye?
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, let's see that.
Let's play that section, absolutely.
Do you know what
I
section it
think
is?
it's
Oh, no.
no.
I think I saw
So,
something over here
actually
with the VR. Hold on.
yeah, it probably is,
Two small
Yeah.
Here we go.
Off after 9 p.m. and then we would get like yelled at for spilling creamer. We would work 14-hour shifts.
are they
at
able to
one
hear
point,
audio or?
trying to get Black Ops 3 out? It
Yeah,
was
they can.
just
Okay.
insane. Like it felt like a dungeon.
You should be able to hear it on the
especially
share,
when
on
I
the
was
share
working
screen.
in VR games. As
Oh,
a
I don't know.
QA tester, you would be in the headset
Oh, I
anywhere
do.
from 4 to 8 hours a day with essentially two small TV screens blaring into your eyes. It's worth noting that VR manufacturers actually suggest players only stick to like 30 to 60 minutes a day. I personally have long-term, eye vision damage from that experience. I know other people too who had chronic motion sickness for a long time even after quitting their job.
The treatment of QA across the board, across
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no, it
like
sucks.
permanent motion sickness. What the hell? I would freaking not move. I would just lay down. Like that's awful. I can't believe like I never even thought about that because I've never tested VR, but I mean they should at the very least be getting vision care, checked for those type of things. Like they should have those protections. It's really
Yeah.
sad.
And as VR becomes more and more mainstream, we're probably gonna see this become more and more prevalent, so.
Yeah, I actually saw a comment on the video that said like if it's this bad, like why is VR even a thing if like we can't ethically test it? Which I mean, I think that's a good argument. Like we should probably shelf it until we can find a safe way to have those like testers test that long without sustaining permanent eye damage or
Or
other health issues.
if you're gonna do it, like, hire a larger team so that you can work in shorter shifts,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. Like rotate them. Yeah, that makes sense too, but
Yeah, there's just
yeah.
gotta be a solution.
There's no ethical regulation of VR testing, and then, like, that's a whole other subset of how QA testers are treated in the industry already, so,
Yeah, I
um
mean, this leads into our next topic, which is the fact that, like, most devs don't even consider testers, like they don't consider them devs, as well as a bunch of other departments. So this is kind of a um this is a tweet that was going around. The hashtag what a game dev looks like trend.
Yeah.
So Jess, do you want to talk about how that started before we dive
Yeah,
into
of
QA
course.
part of it? Yeah.
So a dev friend of mine on Twitter, her name's JC, I believe, but she started the hashtag because at a GDC she went to give a talk, and they kind of like screened her from the line and were like, "This is for devs that are doing talks," and she's like, "Well, I am a dev and I am doing talks." So, obviously she was surrounded by a bunch of white men, and she didn't look like she belonged, I guess, and that's why they profiled her. So she created that "What a Game Dev Looks Like" hashtag to kind of show the marginalized in the game dev community. So I love what a game dev looks like, and I think it's really cool that you're seeing a lot of the diversity in games. Um, and it should be highlighted more. But yeah, it sucks that something that happened to her that was a bad experience at GDC, that happened, but it's cool that she was able to take the power back and say, no, this is what a game dev looks like. And, we're gonna show the world pretty much who works on your games. Like, I know a lot of people will say, we don't care who works on the games, we just want good games, right? But you should care because when devs are treated well, when they're happy, the games are better, surprisingly. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's honestly, it's so like, if you it started as like a to spread representation in the industry, but if you
Mhm.
just type in hashtag what a game dev looks like on Twitter now, it's honestly so heartwarming, like just going through all of the pictures, all of the statuses, and just seeing the wide breadth of all of the people who work in the industry. Like I just kept scrolling and scrolling, and I was like, oh, look at all these people, this is so cool.
Yeah.
One was it made me like so happy, was it was a couple's picture, a husband and a husband. They were both game devs at different studios, and they like lived together, and it was just
Oh,
like,
oh, those are my friends,
oh
Valentine and
really?
Ryan. Yeah, they're
I was
Yeah.
gonna
the
say I saw Jess
best.
interact with that one.
Yes, Valentine is a friend of mine. They're great, and their husband's really cool too. So, yeah, I
Oh,
was super excited to see. Um, I love the hashtag in general, and I think it's really cool that we're having those kind of campaigns. And also, if you scroll on Twitter, the hashtag right now, you'll see a lot of QA, which you don't like. It's crazy because QA has been fighting to be called dev for a long time, and a lot of you know, senior developers want to gatekeep what a game dev is, and like they'll exclude marketing, they'll exclude QA, they'll exclude these vital disciplines that like a game cannot ship without. Um, so it's cool to see a lot of like QA saying like, no, we're here and we are devs because you need us.
yeah.
So that
You
was
know
really
what?
cool to see.
I would love to. Oh, awesome! You found the tweet. Yep, those are.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
those
I actually just
beautiful,
searched the
beautiful
hashtag and it was the
people.
second one that showed up for me.
Aw.
Yeah, love
Y-
them.
Yeah, just scrolling through, like honestly, if just take some time if you're watching this, type in the hashtag and scroll, and there's just like a lot of cool stories. Not all of them are, like uh a lot of them are happy, it's just like this is what I
Yeah.
do, and it's just really like there's a lot of positivity out there, so it's pretty cool. And I would love to have a discussion really quick about like what is a game developer, because yeah, I absolutely agree that QA testers are game developers. And then one
Yeah.
tweet that I saw that was really interesting was someone from marketing at one of the big companies. I think it might have been Ubisoft or one of them, uh, was talking about how their experience was always being like they were always being told that they weren't part of the development process, that they weren't a game developer because they were in marketing. And I saw one like a senior game developer like respond to the tweet like, why do you feel the need to be called a game developer? Like
Mm.
you market the game but you don't develop it. So like, what do you just consider a developer? Because really, when you think about it, it's like, well, a developer is someone who works on the development of a game. And you could argue that marketing is part of the development process. Like you cannot, in the
Right.
modern day society, you cannot have a game without marketing it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and do you need to be, if you are a marketer, do you like need to be considered a game developer, or can you be happy with term marketing? Like, are you
Right.
that you're a marketer, you know?
I don't know. I think a lot of the game developer discourse stems from the way that software engineers are treated in the industry. They're kind of like gatekept as like the developers of the industry, where in tech, it's more like everyone's a developer. We all work on the software, right?
Yeah.
Um, if a game cannot ship without your work, you're a developer. That's like my take on it is like you're a developer, you touch the game in some way. Like I know people that have designed, trailers for a game and it's like you're a game developer. Like even though you're taking assets and putting them into something new, you're still a developer. Um, but yeah, like I said, there's like this old guard that likes to keep the word developer under the like software developers, engineers. But I just call them engineers. I'm like we're all developers. But I think back then it was more of a class separation of like, no, you're an engineer, which is a developer, or you're everyone else. And I think a lot of people are trying to like broaden the game dev into everyone that works on games because it should be like that.
Yeah,
And I think what you're seeing is a lot of like either the old guard software engineers that are like, no, we're developers, not you.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, I don't
And
know. I call everybody by title, like, hey, we're all devs, but you're cool at marketing. Like,
yeah.
I
And
don't get it.
Nima74 in chat, like reflects the point. Having worked in non-software QA, this stuff's pretty much the end all, be all with regards to importance. If you don't have proper QA, the product isn't being shipped as engineered. So yeah, they're part of the engineering team for sure.
Yeah,
There, so yeah, like I agree. At the end of the day, I think it is a form of gatekeeping. Like
it
I
is.
was just kind of playing devil's advocate, but also I don't care if you like work on games then and you want to be called a game dev, then absolutely. Like why should we
Yeah.
keep that from you? It's a weird.
Like IT, they're game devs. Hello. They like
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird to try and gatekeep that stuff, and
I think so
it's
too.
just a matter of like trying to up
Oh,
your
I know
own
her.
of importance.
Yeah.
It's just not really necessary. Like if you work on the game, you're a game
It's
dev.
very telling if you try to like if you hear someone say like that, developers, they're not developers. It's just like it hurts no one to like include someone, you know what I mean? It hurts no one to like say thank you for all the work you do. It's very important and vital to this game's success, right? But instead they want to get into a technicality argument, which is stupid. And dumb and gatekeepy. But yeah, like why not try and be more inclusive? Doesn't make sense to me.
Also, shout out to all the like social media managers and community managers who are constantly told that they do
Oh
not
my god.
make the game and they are not game devs, but also are the first people to take all the shit related to anything that would be a game dev's job about a game.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Art's the same way. Joey the Saint in the chat called out that we were scrolling by Dave Greco, an amazing artist. And same thing, can't make games without art. I think at this
Yep.
point, people like when they think of a traditional game dev, you think of like the three main things that come to mind are the design, the
Design, engineering.
programming, and
Yeah.
the art. So
Yeah.
at this point, but there was probably a point like early on in the days where because the game industry started like when programmers started doing all of the disciplines. So there was probably a
Yeah.
point where programmers gatekeep like, oh, if you just work on art, you're not a game dev, or oh,
The
you just
sacred
design.
text.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was there when it was written.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It seems as we've like expanded into other like disciplines, like game producers, for example, people that literally don't really touch any of the creation parts of the game. Like they just do the project management, unless you're a creative producer. But that's the thing. There's just so many roles and so many disciplines that there's really no reason to gatekeep what a game dev is.
Yeah. It really is silly.
Um, but yeah, so this kind of like this is a good way to transition into like what GDC is, which is the Game
Yeah.
Developers Conference. It was started in 1988 for some context, for some history, by a man named Chris Crawford. And Mike, can we bring up where the first GDC was held? Because this is amazing. This is the first GDC in 1988 was
That's so
at
cool.
Chris Crawford's personal ranch with just a
Oh my
few.
lord.
This is just like like 100 of his like close friends in the industry. And this was a time. This is like harkens back to the time when it was basically just a bunch of programmers doing this stuff for fun. And
Mhm.
there's a great documentary that I watched leading up to this episode, and
I'm sorry. Can you say
it's
that word again?
oh no, I say things. There are some things that I say really weird, and I hate that you just
Say
called me
it.
out on that
Documentary.
documentary. Don't
It's
make me
good.
don't do
All
this to
right,
me,
I'm
Mike.
watching you. I'm watching you, Miller.
I think we if you want to bring up, I think I linked the document, and you know what, I'll link it in chat too. Let me see if I can find it. Um, but yeah, it's really awesome seeing where the first one was held, and year after year from 1988, it basically doubled in size every
Yeah.
year. But one thing that is kind of interesting to watch as you're watching this is that um, it does sort of highlight some of the issues in early game dev that you know created some of the systemic problems that we have today, where all of the old like vets being interviewed
Yeah.
are all guys, because back then it was
Old
largely
guys.
old guys. Yeah. That being said, one of the first game developers ever was actually a female game programmer, and I wish I had her name pulled up, but yeah, unfortunately, it was like mostly old men. That being said, that doesn't minimize the early contributions of these vets by any means.
Yeah.
And the early GDCs were, that was during a time where the marketing companies and the big corporations held so much of the power. And this was the first event where developers could get together and sort of gather their tribal knowledge and talk about their experiences at the various companies and share that knowledge and experience. And yeah, I had the pleasure of attending my first GDC back in 20 what would that have been? 20, I think 2019 or 20, no, actually it would have been earlier than that. It probably was 2015 or 2016. I got to go as a member of the IGDA,
Nice.
which has a bunch of like as a
Wait, is that
college
the
student.
Gumby trip
The Gumby trip?
from the
Wait,
Gumby
what?
photo
I missed
Gumby
that.
photo.
from Thursday from your Facebook?
Oh, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 no.
I was like, I'm
Um,
sorry. Did you black out after that stream?
no, no. That was I don't even know how to tie that into what we're talking about, Mike.
We
The
could just
Gumby
ignore it. I
photo.
just thought it
No
was in
one's gonna
San
know what that
Francisco, so I thought
means.
maybe it was the same week.
No, it wasn't. But yeah, I had the pleasure of going while I was in college, because you get discounted passes if you're part of the IGDA. And that was my first experience, like really being in a community of just game devs. It was a really special experience, just being surrounded by either people who worked in the industry or wanted to work in it. And it was cool. It was a good time. Like, I'm sure this was your first time going, like your experience probably reflects it as well. It was a
Yeah.
unique environment.
It was definitely unique and strange, but we'll get
I'm
into it.
sure.
Yeah, just super weird, right? Because like the pandemic is still a thing. Um,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, I am double vaxxed and boosted and everything, and even so, like, people were still without their masks, which is weird. There was a mask mandate inside. It was interesting for sure. Never been to a convention post pandemic, but or like during pandemic. So it was super weird. People were kind of socially starved. I feel like they were more willing to have conversations, and like we had, I worked on the CWA booth where we had a huge union presence. Like we were just like, come talk to us about unionizing your studio. And we actually had really good feedback. Like people were really excited to see us. We definitely felt welcome, which is cool. Feels like all the work that like we've been putting in for the past year or so, or even people have been trying to unionize the video game industry for a long time. But I think with the Activision Blizzard stuff, we're really starting to see like the fruit of that because everyone's talking about it right now.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys had a presence at the GDC gives you a sense of validity, a sense of
Yeah,
recognition. And I do think I got to go to GDC and experience it during a more innocent time. Like,
yeah, definitely.
it was pre-pandemic. That was prior to a lot of not that these incidents weren't happening at the time, because they were
Yeah,
just not being brought to light, but that was before the Riot lawsuits came out, the Blizzard
Mhm.
lawsuits before they tried to make a mobile Diablo game, and there,
Before
it was a
Ubisoft.
more yeah, it was a much more innocent time in the industry, and I'm glad I got to go during that time. But obviously, with all of this stuff coming to light, like that's so important,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you guys got to have a presence there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like everyone was so supportive and if you want to bring up the mouse pads, CWA made us these mouse pads of the freaking Reed Smith slides. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, no freaking way. It's the meme. So they became a meme and they became like a hot GDC collector's item. People were coming up to the booth like, I saw this on Twitter. I am grabbing a mouse pad. And I was like, please do. And funny enough, like Washington Post had a news article talking about GDC, and these were freaking mentioned in the news article. It was the
Awesome.
best. Yeah, and they were referred to it as a meme, which is funny. Um,
For those who aren't aware what these mouse pads represent, these Reed Smith slides, can you do it like a quick
Oh yeah, I did
explanation?
this at GDC too because a lot of people were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Um, so, Reed Smith is the law firm that Activision Blizzard hired to cross-examine the Raven QA software testers who are unionizing. So they had this along with a huge PowerPoint document about how to like avoid unionizing at, how to fight against unionizing at your workplace. And I'm sure this is like what they use to catalog. Here is what we do in our anti-union campaigning. But anyway, one of the Raven QA testers sent that to me on the last day before they were cross-examined. And I was like, is this real? This is real. This is their website. And I posted on Twitter, and then it became a meme. And then they took the site down, but it got archived before. So it exists. It's there in the ether. Um, yeah, just super funny that this was their how to avoid unions, and the slide is so comically bad that it became a meme and like hot GDC item for 2022.
Became a meme and then a mouse pad.
Yeah, the
That's
meme,
that's
the
that's
mouse
the
pad, the
real
legend.
hero's journey right there.
Yeah, like yeah, and also this for all y'all that say memes do nothing to help a movement, I beg to differ because every meme I've ever made about the Activision Blizzard crap has gotten it more visibility. So you're welcome.
Coming from the meme queen herself.
Memes are the way. They're like the new political cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's the best way to spread awareness because it's easily digestible and it's easily shareable. So what better way to get the word spread?
But that being said, it's also easy to get misinformation on a meme because you don't want to do your own research. So you see a meme and you consider it as fact. So always fact check your memes, people.
www.factcheck.com. I don't actually know if that's probably not even the. There is a really good fact check
Installing
website.
malware to all of your
Oh
computers.
no! What is the fact check website? I'll link it in the.
While Josh is doing that, just a reminder, if you guys want to learn more about that, you can go check out the weekly stand-up episode 2 over on our YouTube channel, where we dove into that entire presentation.
Yeah, we actually had the archived slides. You know what's funny? In that Washington Post article that I mentioned, they actually reached out to Reed Smith for comment, and Reed Smith commented on it.
Wait, what's
It's
the
the
comment?
funny. They said these were old slides that were put together by people that no longer work at Reed Smith. So they like had to say that the people don't work there anymore because it was so bad that yeah, it's just really funny that
Somebody
Amazing.
got fired.
they were just like these are old and
Now,
that's it.
Jess, do you have one of these mouse pads that you could show off?
Oh, I absolutely do. Um, I do have a mouse pad.
That's
So
sick.
it
Immaculate.
is forever. It's gonna be a family heirloom. It's gonna be passed down for generations. It's like, hey, remember that time where my great great grandmother went up against a multi-billion-dollar corporation and got a mouse pad?
Now, well, I do want to point out that the I mentioned the IGDA, which is the International Game Developers Association, which was how I was able to go to my first GDC. They paid for a good chunk of my ticket. One thing that recently came out, and this is a lot of peers tweeted about this and made a video about
Mm,
it. But this is the IGDA's the allegations that the IGDA has kind of been sweeping claims of harassment within the organization under the rug. So this is super unfortunate because the IGDA is a super important and like generally powerful organization for developers and for their rights and like for bringing people together. But like all organizations, generally where power collects is usually where it's the most corrupt, and
Yep.
the IGDA is no different. So this is definitely like no negative like thoughts at all towards the members,
Mhm.
but I think it was Jen Schumer, one of the former organization heads, abused her power, was constantly harassing her colleagues and the people below her, and when people were spoke out against it, it was generally like ignored, swept under the rug, and this is just super unfortunate. So definitely check out this article written by gamesindustry.biz and the video that Alana Pierce released. There's good information there, and this has been happening for the since 2018, I think. So this is
E-
nothing new. This has been going on for a while.
Equally as
Yeah.
important, she was also just like straight copying other people's achievements as her own for her resume and publicly. Like I think she got a reward for one of the things too. Like or she was
Uh,
being given an award. I know she was stripped from the future class of video games, the first round of them they did, I think in 2020 or 2021, whenever
mm,
they put that class together, she was in there, and the blowback, that's like kind of what triggered the like second or third round of people being like, no, not
yeah.
her.
So it's crazy, right? Like a lot of these stories come out, and it's like, it's sad that I'm so desensitized to it. It's like now you just add a studio or like a business to the list of people that have covered up these type of like scandals and things that have gone on. I just think it's fair to say it happens everywhere now because I mean, it's like every stone has been unturned. It's almost like what happened in the wake of like the film industry. It's happening to the games industry. It's really sad because it's just like some of these people you're like, dang, I know you, I've heard of you, and then like years go by, and then you just hear about all the stuff that was covered up, and it's almost like there's no corporate ladder. There's just like stepping on other people. Like there's no way to get up in the industry unless you're stepping on other people. And I think now that we're starting to kind of like talk about it, bring it out, you're seeing a lot of people that come out at first supportive of the movement, like, yeah, we're super supportive, and then you find out later on that they actually like helped perpetuate the culture or like contribute in some way, which has been something really hard for me to grasp. Because it's like, oh, I interacted with this person, they were at the walkout, they like they were supportive, and then you hear these things and you're like, wow, I don't even, it's almost like whiplash.
And they're doing harm to the movement because whenever these
Right.
people in these positions of power, like when these allegations come out against them, it's like like what you're
Yeah.
you were a leader
It's
of
like,
the
have you
movement,
learned
like
nothing?
yeah.
Have you learned nothing?
The hypocrisy. And it's not to say
Yeah.
like IGDA did take some corrective actions, right? Like they let
Right.
go, they let Jen go. And the person who covered it up also was let go. Another Jen, it was like Jen McNeil or something like that. But then they acted like nothing happened. Like, why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
Like just all you have to do is put out a statement condemning these people. Like, this is the action we took. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like, why the radio silence will that strategy will like never make sense to me. Like, just own up to your mistakes
Oh
and
my
then do
god,
better
yeah.
going forward. Like, this the same thing in Blizzard that we've been advocating for, which is just like we appreciate that you're letting the people the abusers go. Like, yes, please
Right.
fire them, but also in the same hand, like own up to your mistakes, like admit to the wrongdoing so that we
Right,
can just move
because
past this, you know?
how are your employees gonna feel safe if you're not, like, like, prioritizing their safety and saying, like, "Hey, here's an issue. We've discovered it. We took action, and that's all you need to know," right? Um, Speaking of radio silence and,
Wait,
acting like nothing
can I
happened,
make a quick
I s
clarification on that?
yeah.
Yes, yeah, by all
So
means.
at least like legally, and obviously it's probably was some corporate pushback inside the organization. She did resign. She was not
Oh,
removed
that's
of her
right. I saw
position.
the tweet. You're right.
So like
I saw
that's
that.
also part of the problem, right? Is that like she was
Also
allowed to resign and was not stripped of her position because of the not only the negligence of her role, but also the abuse of her
Right, because
fellow
they want to do
heroes.
these things quietly. When you fire someone, you have to make a
Right.
statement. They just want it to go away.
Exactly.
So they probably forced her to resign, and they're like, if you just resign, we won't make a fuss about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same thing that happened to J. Allen Brack, who I freaking saw outside of GDC, and I was like, "Funny seeing you here." Like, hello,
Yeah, did you walk
hello.
up to him and say, "Funny seeing you here"?
She
No,
handed him a
I
mouse pad.
I literally had to be told that it was Jay because I couldn't believe it, and then I looked and I was like, "That is Jay." And we like walked like this past each other, and I pretended like I was invisible. I
I'm
I just in my head, I was like, "The gall of you to be here." You know what I mean? Like, after everything, you've essentially let down and failed your studio that you ran, and kinda were like, "See you later, I'm leaving for better opportunities," which is verbatim what the email said, which is what they say about a lot of people that leave, because they don't wanna talk about really the real reason. And just strange seeing him there. Like, you know, he didn't like, he's been kind of hiding, I want to say, or just like not as public because of everything gone on.
Yeah.
But since he left Blizzard, um, yeah, it was just weird to see him at Game Dev Conference. Like, hello, read the room.
And since we're talking about GDC, we might as well bring in our guest of the day, Alan. So yeah, we did the introduction about him at the beginning of
We
the episode.
did. And
Alan,
we can also let him talk about himself a little bit too if he wants to.
100%. Yeah. So let's go to a short little break while we bring Alan in for the interview, discuss some stuff about GDC, and just chit chat. So we'll be
Yeah.
right back, and stick around.
To Weekly Stand-Up, and we're here joined by Al from Activision QA. I actually recently, we were both at GDC together. We worked on the Code CWA booth, and we were just gonna come on here and chat. And yeah, super excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Say it's exciting to talk about it.
Yeah, it is, right? It was your first GDC as well, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
yes, it
Yeah,
was. Also
yeah.
my first job in tech, so first time ever getting a chance to see the perspective of all that stuff.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? There's, like,
It
just so
is.
much on the floor and, everything's exciting. They had, like, meta people there. They had yeah, it was interesting time, but, Al and I were mostly focused on organizing, and we were just trying to, like, organize all the devs, like, "Hey, do you like unions? Do you like democracy?" So that was fun. But yeah, Al did great. He was just, having conversations with people, just like, "Hey, what's your studio like? What are your working conditions like?" Kinda starting the conversation, and we actually were received pretty well from what I remembered. And yeah, we gave out a lot of mouse pads.
It, I remember talking with a lot of like CEOs of small studios actually, and some of them were like, "Yeah, what would code be able to do to make us co-op?" You know, one of
Yeah.
one of the people I plan on reaching out to them later. Nice Games Club. They want to do a podcast talking about unionization as well. They're based in Minnesota,
Oh,
where I
nice.
work. So they'd be super pumped to hear our side of unionizing too, because Minnesota isn't so much talked about as Raven at the
So
moment.
true. Yeah, and it's funny that you bring that up, Al, because I remember there were a lot of CEOs that walked up to us like, "Hey, I wanna start my studio unionized. How do I do it?" And I was like, "Yes, you're the shit. Everyone's gonna wanna work for you."
I,
'Cause it's great.
mhm.
Is
Uh,
that an activity that the CWA is currently active in participating in, like creating the groundwork of like this is how you unionize, and like these are the steps that you and your studio can take?
Yeah, so we actually our booth was there to just provide the resources of like what does organizing look like to you and scan this QR code and get in touch with CWA. But those really like more intricate to navigate conversations, we would switch or swap them to Tom Smith, who's the Code CWA campaign director, and we're like, ask Tom. Tom knows all the things. But yeah, it was cool. We were very well received. People were really excited to see us there. I got a lot of thank yous for doing what we were doing. Like a lot of people were like, thank you for this because it's long overdue. And I had that conversation with several people that evening. So it was cool.
I heard that a lot too. Was thank yous, and I saw somebody from the IATSE. They said it's awesome that you guys are doing it. He was an older gentleman. He definitely was like, "This is awesome. I love seeing this union activity kicking back up again." He
Yeah.
definitely seemed like the type to remember, uh, I guess back 70s, 80s, where unions were much bigger, and he loved to see
Yeah.
that new activity.
Yeah, that was great. I also saw one, woman who was like, "I'm a manager, so I can't do anything, but I'm gonna take stuff for my employees," and I was like, "Yes, someone on the inside. Thank you
Nice.
for your service."
Yeah, we need more people like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that just shows you, like, how talked about they are right now, and I think, like, the pandemic and, a bunch of stuff highlighted workers' rights and labor movements, so you're seeing it a lot, and it was just cool to, like, see that energy at GDC. Because for some reason, I thought people were gonna hate us there, but actually they really loved it. So, hell yeah.
And I
It's
think
kind
that
of
kind of
oh,
oh,
sorry.
sorry, Al.
It's kind of funny though. The was it the Amazon booth was like right next to us,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of people were talking about just kind of accidentally dropping some flyers near their
Yeah,
booth.
it's just like, "Whoops." Yeah, at one point, I just started grabbing, like, our flyers with the QR codes and just putting them on tables. I was like, "Just scan the QR code." And then we also had a game hooked up that was an anti-union campaign simulator where, like, you would fight against the boss. It was great. Um, yeah, like I said, it was super received well. CEOs and, like, people we got tossed curveballs. People were just like, "Yeah, I wanna help. How the frick do I start?" And I was like, "What? I thought there'd be more resistance than this." So it was really cool to see, and we felt welcome. I felt like, I was a welcome member of the community, and, I think people kinda showed us that by coming by and getting a mouse pad because those were a hot item.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
people were coming back and getting them, like, multiple ones.
I do think that sort of highlights the fact that most like the majority of people in the games industry are pro union and are pro like workers' rights because there's really no reason not to be. it's just really a vocal minority of people who hold power
Yeah,
who are against it. But most
exactly.
people are like super about it.
Exactly, and I think part of it too is, like, they are the developers, so they know the working conditions. As soon as you bring up crunch, they're like, "Pff, yeah," it's like they get it, and that's why, I don't know, it's hard because when you see, like, the management broadcasting on their huge like, they have the power, right? So when they broadcast their, like, "Unions suck" campaigns, you think, like, it holds a lot of weight because these are people in power, they pay millions of dollars, and then you see something like a little CWA booth at GDC get so much love, in spite of, like, everything that's going on. But I think people are they're more savvy to anti-union stuff now, and it's cool because CWA actually preps you on, "This is exactly what your boss is gonna do." So that way when they do it, I think it's called inoculation, so that when they do it, you're like, "I know what you're doing because CWA warned me about this." So people are more savvy to it now.
Even better, they even teach you how to inoculate your coworkers.
Yeah.
So
And
like
it's super helpful.
yeah, like I've been with my discussions with coworkers, that's like one of the things that we do. Step one is like talk with our coworkers, get like you don't have to become friends, but you like make connections with your
Yeah.
coworkers, and then
Networking.
yeah, networking, and then that opens the door to like, hey, uh, union busting is going to happen, and here's how we fight against it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like, they think, "Oh, the boss isn't gonna do that, like, they're not gonna," but as soon as you start seeing the boss, like, do captive audience meetings, which happened a lot at ABK and is still happening. They created a Slack alias called ABK Facts that like posts anti-union rhetoric in channels. And you're like, wow, I was worried about this. I expected better from you, but I know what you're doing. So yeah, it's really important to talk about here's what the boss is going to do because they don't want to pay fair wages or treat you better. Yeah.
Just thinking about the ABK Facts thing, it was super awesome seeing like the respectful, but like strong response that it got fighting back against it. Uh,
Yeah.
that was very powerful to see. I'm sure it turned a few people at the GDC booth. There were some Activision employees that
Hmm.
their studios weren't really uh, working on unionizing yet. They came up, and I actually helped one of them get
Heck
in on the
yeah.
discussion.
I love that. Yeah, I was like, "You're not Bobby in a mask, are you?" No,
Yes,
but it
I
was
remember that.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool to see, and like I said, like, the inoculation is super important, just knowing like, the reason why we saw so many people respectfully kind of take over the ABK Facts, like, narrative is because they knew what to expect, and that's super important. When you take over captive audience meetings, this is what you see a lot of on Twitter, where there's people that are doing, like, a union meeting, and then management comes in to try to intimidate people. Or they'll have, like, a meeting that's, like, threatening and misleading, and people actually the workers take the meeting back and say, "No, you're trying to union bust us, and we're legally within our rights." Like, that's where you see a lot of those things happening, so it's cool that even though, we're not all in person, we can do these things over Slack.
Making that public actually helped with gaining signers. There was a I'm not sure if it's something to talk about, but it happened at Raven. They took over the meeting, and that brought in a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
signers
Oh, yeah.
from Minnesota. Actually, there were like I think 6 or 7 signers from a post I made. Like Raven did this, and it's super awesome, and we can do it too.
Hell yeah. It was awesome, and then we also, at our booth, we had United Pazzo Workers. They're a tabletop, game company, and so they are unionized through CWA, so it was cool because we were like, "Come play our tabletop game, but, like, by unionized labor and play our anti-union campaign simulator, and here's a bunch of cool swag," like, it was really awesome. I think we were definitely one of the popular booths at GDC this year. Also, I saw a comment from Rebel Comic Nerd, who's Kate. I remember you, Kate. Um, they said they got approached by some Sledgehammer employees who were really excited to see us. Yeah, I saw that too. Some people at Sledgehammer were just like, "We're just here, and what are y'all doing? And can we get involved?" Like, we're like, "Yes, please." That was really cool to see.
It
So
seems like it
even
was a bit of
people,
morale boost, getting to
yeah.
experience all of that.
Yeah, even people with, like, no context or knowledge were super like, how do I start? How do I help? It was really cool.
People coming up like uh they were asking what we were about, and then it was clear like they didn't even know what unions do, and just giving that information in like a 5-minute talk, and them being super excited about it
Yeah.
was like a huge morale boost.
It really was. It's like why we're doing this and why we continue to like push for this stuff because it's so important, especially if we want better working conditions, right?
Yeah. I
So,
think that there's often like an assumption that everybody knows that like unions exist, what they do, and that they're good. But if someone doesn't know what a union does, and their first information that they get about a union is coming from like the
right.
larger Activision organization, like these are why unions are bad. If that's the first info they're getting, that's like that just creates their foundational like knowledge base. So it's very important to spread the awareness and explain what unions do and why it's a good thing for people that aren't familiar with it, so that that's the first news reaching their ear about those things.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we got people from multiple studios that were like small studios, big studios. We had one group that was like, "Hey, we're a studio. We want to unionize. We're ready." And I was just like, "Here, walk over here." Like sign up. It was really cool. So, yeah, it's just super exciting. I hope we start to see more unionized labor in the industry because it's about time, and I'm just ready to see like how our presence at GDC impacted multiple studios because it really did look like it that day.
Yeah, these are the sorts of things that have ripple effects that you see the impact of it years later.
Oh yeah. And it's like I think Al and I kept saying like it's a marathon, not a race. You're having conversations, you're keeping that network open and just honest discussion is really all it is. And talking about working conditions, it's like the biggest thing that I talked about was, you sign an NDA, you're afraid to talk about work, but you can talk about working conditions, like even though you can't talk about the project you're working on, right? And that was something like it was a big talking point for me, especially because it's like people are afraid. Like they sign these agreements. They don't know if it translates to like everything about the company or just the project that I'm working on. So,
Can I jump in with a quick question?
yeah.
So, obviously a lot of the push for unionizations happened due to like COVID, kind of exposing a lot of issues in the industry as a whole. And, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you see it, a lot of these bigger issues and accusations really coming to light of abuse during COVID.
Mhm.
Do you think that one of the big like pushes that made GDC so great for you guys as an org and so much like love and attention is actually that like people have wanted this? Oh, we lost Al. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to this till we get him back. Uh, Ali, if you can tell
It's
me now
like
when he's on the guest
I don't
room
know
again,
who
that'd be
this
great.
Mike guy is, but I don't like him.
He's like, I don't want any pointed questions. So Jess,
Yeah.
do you think that a lot of what's been played into here and a lot of what's kind of staggered the unionization efforts has been the fact that people have been stuck working from home, hybrid, like a lot of separation physically that has made it hard for,
Yeah.
like it's a weird thing where like you're working from home and like because of technology, communication's easier than ever, but people almost
Mhm.
feel less like provoked. That's probably the wrong word, but I'm gonna use the word provoked to actually engage with each other, because they don't physically
Yeah.
see people in front of them. And do you think that the reason that you're seeing such a groundswell now is that people are returning to the office? GDC is a large physical event where everyone is seeing the faces of each other and are more
Right.
wanting to socialize about these issues than they would be, opening a Slack DM and shooting a message about it midday.
Yeah, no, I think it helped a lot to have a like in-person event. I also think it helped solidify the movement a little bit because like a lot of people were only seeing the movement on Twitter and like, Twitter stuff can be like you don't really know how big a movement is just based on Twitter alone, right? So I think that seeing it in person really solidified like, oh, this is serious. It's a real movement. It's actually happening and like we're still going forward even though like everything's supposed to go back to normal, right? Like we don't want to have a bunch of horrible things happen to unionize. It's actually easier to unionize when things are going well, by the way. Um, so it's cool to see like the stigma go away and then like seeing people feel more reinforced towards supporting it because look at how much of a presence we had at GDC. Like you can openly support us. So I think that helped a lot as well.
Yeah, even just like as a game developer going to my first GDC, because like for I went to college for like game production, And the whole time I'm like, is this real though? Like, is what I'm doing like a real? Am I gonna actually end up in the game industry after like 4 years of paying like insane tuition? Like, is this
Right.
a real thing? And then I went to GDC, and my first experience like just reinforced like that I had made the right decision. Meeting so many fellow like students who worked in similar disciplines, trying to be like game artists and animators and programmers and designers, and meeting all these people who are like trying to get in, all congregated in one place was such a cool experience. Then also meeting the people who had been 10-year vets and their
Yeah.
willingness to like the guys who were like, oh yeah, I remember when I was in your shoes. Yeah, and this is what you got to do. You got to do this, this, and this, and like showed them my resume and stuff, and they would like critique it and like, no, like change, like this is what you got to do. And it was such a instrumental experience. And
Yeah.
that's what the GDC is all about, is just providing that outlet, a place for the game developers to get together. It was like, I'm very curious what your experience was like, because this is your first job in tech and this was your first GDC. So like, do you have similar thoughts?
Uh, so I wandered the floor. I was a little nervous to talk to people about actually unionizing because I couldn't tell who was a manager. Somebody that I talked to at one booth, it was a smaller company, but I thought this might just be a worker, and it turned out to be the owner of the company, you know? And I'm glad I didn't bring it up with him because
Yeah.
I had no clue. And then, but it was interesting perspective. I wandered over to the JetBrains booth and talked with them a little bit about JetBrains and my experience with their development environments, and it was a cool talk with them. But because I was afraid to really bring it up with random people, I hung out at the booth more, and I saw a lot of students coming over, like senior students. They were like grabbing our information
Yeah.
and like getting ready, like they wanted to be ready to unionize when they got their job after graduating, and that
Yeah, it
was
was great.
yeah, that was great to see too. There, I can't even remember how many students
So
uh,
many.
just were interested in what we were doing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and a lot of thank yous came from the students because, like, they're trying to get into an industry that we've been familiar with, right? And we're kind of exposing the, like, corruption and toxicity about it. So I think they're paying attention because it's something that they're doing, right? And they're in school, right? So they're like, "Oh, what am I getting into?" I'm sure. So it was cool to see them show up and like, "Hey, I love what you're doing, and hopefully, I can help work on it when I get a job there," you know? So it's cool.
Yeah, because these are going to be the people who are in the shoes that the developers are in someday. And like the
Yeah.
fact that they're getting into the unionization movement when they are means that they'll have the power to like make the change. And 10 years from now, we'll probably see major unions all over the country.
Ugh, I hope.
Yeah.
This was another awesome thing that I saw. I don't want to mention the company by name, but a related company to Paizo was interested in what we were
Oh,
doing.
that's
And
right.
yeah, and that was like awesome to just overhear. Uh, and I almost wonder if some of those employees had played Paizo's one-shot campaign, which,
Mm.
fun fact, that was actually an anti-union or anti-boss one-shot campaign that was like 10 minutes long. It was super fun. Uh,
Yeah.
and I actually kind of subtle, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was cool to see. We had like they were able to play the game right there, and I think that helped a lot too. It was like a lot of tabletop enthusiasts were there. We're like, "Hey, come play our game. By the way, this was made by unionized labor, and here's why unionized labor is great."
That's dope.
Um, yeah, it was really cool. So we had like all areas of GDC covered with like we have a game to play, we have swag, we have people to walk up to booths and it was really cool, and also I talked to some people from Jam City who recently had a bunch of
What?
layoffs happen. Yeah, so they were super like I was like, "Oh, y'all just went through layoffs." Like, "Yeah, we did." And I was like, "That sucks." You wanna talk to someone at Raven? We actually had Evan there, who was, I think our first ever interviewee.
Yep.
Evan was there helping us, and I was like, "Boy, do I know someone from Raven." Y'all can talk because they also got laid off, and yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it sucks that it's like, "Hey, this horrible thing happened to you, me too." But it's cool in a way that, like, because of that, there's such a larger movement brewing. It's like everyone's fed up with bad labor practice here.
And not to throw out the word, but it definitely helped to say like it was like a solidarity bit
Oh, yeah.
to like
Yeah.
some of those employees that had rougher conditions. They definitely felt for uh us. They felt for some of the, I believe some of the Google employees that were there, the Alphabet Workers
Yeah.
Union.
They won the freaking Google Fiber team won their union,
Yeah,
like,
they were
recently.
talking about it that Tuesday, the day
Yeah, I
before the
remember.
expo.
We all filmed a video together, like, cheering them on because we knew that they were gonna win because it sounded like they, had, like, a big campaign. So we all made a video at the end of our training that was like, "Good luck, you got this," and they freaking announced that they were a unanimous yes, which is super cool, which is why I was like, "Yeah, that's gonna be our first topic because hell yeah, it works. Unionizing works. Do it. Everyone do it.
Right
Unionize the
now.
show. We're all unionizing right now
Oh, fuck. Wait, what have I done?
against
Um,
Josh.
oh no. Wait.
Wait, I'm getting
We're
paid?
overthrowing. I know, right? We're actually freelancers on this show. We do it because we
1099.
like y'all.
Um, yeah, Buckle Industries, you're damn right. Unionizing does work.
It
Um,
does.
so Al, what like, as a QA tester, what are your next aspirations? Do you want to stay in
Mm.
QA? Because that's totally a viable career field now. Or are you trying to like expand into other departments?
Yeah, so I graduated from college with a degree in computer science.
Mm.
So eventually I wanted to get into actual programming, but in Minneapolis, where I live, it's actually really like the tech industry is really competitive here, and the companies mostly want experienced programmers. So some
Yeah,
of my hopes, and my manager has actually helped me. Like my manager has been like a serious ally.
that's
Even
awesome.
even if he can't exactly participate himself.
Right.
But he's given me resources like this is how you can get into programming from a studio perspective, and here's a new program that's launched at Activision Blizzard that helps you learn how to
That's cool.
program. And so my goal eventually is actually to become a programmer, hopefully in the industry, which would be awesome because I don't think
Heck
there's
yeah.
anything cooler than programming a video game, right?
It's
Like
the coolest.
it.
Also, can I just say that programmers with a QA background are amazing because when they write code, they think about all of the edge cases and everything that can go wrong as they're writing the code. And it's more solid, like, there's still bugs because there's always bugs. Programmers aren't perfect, otherwise, our job wouldn't exist. But it's cool that, like, to hear that a programmer came from a QA background, you're like, "Okay, this is cool," because you would reverse engineer your own engineering.
I've actually talked with it was an interview over a year ago, right? But I had an interview with somebody who previously worked at Activision QA, and they
Nice.
were now a programmer at this company I was interviewing at, and they were like, "That's how I got my start, and we look for QA people that know how to program."
It's
Didn't
so
that
useful.
I'm still here, so I didn't get the job at that company, but that feedback was like us like it showed me where my career path was now was QA to eventually programmer.
We
And
should have you talk to Mark, friend of the show, who's a software development engineer in test, so that's a good way to jump up from, like, QA, SDET, and then, junior programmer. They actually did that.
well,
So
that'd be awesome.
yeah, super friend of the show. Yeah, and it's a really cool career path too, just because engineers that come from QA are amazing. I love them.
You're
I
definitely in
do.
the
I was gonna say, what I love more about that is that when I show a bug to an engineer that came up from QA, like, haha, look what I found. You didn't, you didn't expect this, and then show them the bug. It's great. Definitely satisfying. Maybe that's
I,
why they hate us because they're
I
like, hey, you
definitely
fucked up.
that's one of the things that I would definitely look forward to is seeing some of the bugs that I accidentally create because I can talk about one bug that was found in live. Like if a it was on Call of Duty Cold War. If your character was shot into like a specific door frame on a map, your ragdoll would like explode across the map. And
Nice.
yeah, and that actually on it was on a Treyarch title, and which they like never make comments about how this bug is hilarious, and they made a comment that was like, "This bug is awesome."
Yeah, I love
That-
bugs like that. They're some of my favorite bugs to find.
When I worked
Yeah.
on Skylanders, that was a big part of the testing that I ran on that was just collision testing, like literally just running along the edges of the level and interacting with as many objects as possible to see like where the collision broke. And those are
Yeah, it's the
usually the most
best.
fun bugs because like if you do ragdoll and like the collision is wonky, like you get like that's usually where you get the weird like stretchy bone, like
Oh, I
crazy
love
character
those.
movement and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think we call them stretch textures or something because it just looks
Mhm.
like everything's, like, stretched or like a big
something
starfish.
What
something
Skyrim
But
is like infamous for.
yeah, right?
like
Yeah. Well, that was, like, one of my favorite things to do 'cause, when I tested Call of Duty, I was on the campaign missions, and I was like, "What if I just, like, army crawl through the whole mission?" And that was so fun, and I could just, like, spawn in stupid areas or, like, be under the map. It was great. I loved it. And then if they ever shipped live, I would be, like, playing with my friends, like, "Check out this stupid ass bug I found that they won't fix because it's dumb, and this is the only reason why I know it exists."
One of the fun things to do, since you brought up crawling, is crawling into an enemy on stealth missions.
Oh,
Early
yeah.
on in development, sometimes they just won't know that you're there if you bump into them. It's hilarious.
That is
Uh,
great. Another thing that was fun to test on COD was, like, in Veteran, try to get spawn killed in Veteran because it happens. Like, if you literally load in and you immediately get shot and die, and they're like, "Oh, we have to tune this down because 'cause you're literally spawn dying in Veteran." So that was fun too, to just, like, put Veteran on everything and just be like, "Shoot me." Yeah, testing games is great. It's great if you're paid well and treated well, so let's hope that that happens, yeah.
I would recommend anybody that's never done QA testing before, just kind of put yourself in our shoes and like
Mhm.
imagine something that you would never actually do in a game and then do it. Like
Yeah.
if a game says go this direction, go back from where you came from and watch the game crash or something.
Oh
Because
my
it's
god, is that a stretched texture? Yes, you
yeah,
love to
Yes.
see it. It's the Brontosaurus of COD, I guess, I don't know.
The
It's so
infamous
good.
Battlefield 3 beta, Rubberneck.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. I love it.
Yeah,
Man,
that was when I went to school for like video game development, that was something that was ingrained in us. Like QA testing and game development went hand in hand. As far back as like our freshman year when we were making games, we had to submit all of the games that we were developing to QA. And you also, in order to graduate, had to spend a certain amount of hours every semester working in the QA labs. Like it was very just very early on, it was such a fundamental part of the development process.
so true. Because like, back then, QA, cartridges ship, and that's it. You can't have a day 1 patch, so it has to be the best, most polished thing ever. So yeah, kinda funny. Also, speaking of cartridges, I remember, playing Mario 64, and I would, like, wiggle the cartridge a little bit, and Mario's would lose his legs, and that was the funniest thing to me because like, I could just be in the floor and then going, "Woo!" And it was the coolest thing ever, and maybe that solidified my QA career, but, yeah, super funny, um, to think about, like, random stuff like that that'll break a game.
that's
Y
one
you
of the
just
things.
you have to account for it. The user is stupid. Pretend the user is as stupid as possible, and they can do any possible thing ever. It's great.
That was thinking about like the importance of QA. That's one of the things we hear a lot from the developers. If when we get the chance to talk to them. Publisher QA, we're actually not allowed to talk with the developers, and that's not
Yep.
something that's very well known.
Yeah.
If a developer messages us in Slack, then we have to tell our manager that a developer has messaged us, and they tell us how we handle it. Like
Yeah.
they'll say like ping this senior project lead, and they'll handle it. But it makes no sense because if it's about a bug I wrote, I'm the
Right.
most knowledgeable person about my bug. Why can't I tell them what's up?
And this is something that I talked to a lot of QA testers from publishing side because that's where I started was Activision, and I knew they did that. And so when ABK had its stuff go, in the news and everything, the first thing I said was, "Are y'all allowed to talk to developers, like other developers?" They said no, and I'm like, "That's still a thing? That's wild to me because it creates so much unnecessary overtime and overhead to funnel everything up through one person, right? Instead of just like getting the answers you need." So that's something we wanna change with unionizing QA, especially, publisher QA is just as valuable as any other QA, and, they should be able to talk to devs, other devs.
Think that's one of the big pushes too. Is we hear a lot about how important QA is, and then
Mhm.
the company treats us like
Like crap.
we yeah, they treat us like crap, and they treat us like
Yeah,
we just cost them money. When we saw it during the Raven QA strike, there were missing like invisible operators, there were broken
yeah.
scopes, there were
Oh my god.
placeholder textures in the microtransaction store. Like those
Yeah.
are things that wouldn't have been missed if we weren't on strike, and that shows how important we are actually.
That really was awesome to see, like, how buggy the game was without QA, and it's like, "You want to get rid of 12 testers? We'll show you why we need QA," and everyone went on strike, and the game sucked, and people were pissed. And then funny enough, like, gamers came to my Twitter and started blaming me for the game sucking, and I was like, "Oh, like, I don't even touch that game, also, you should be yelling at freaking corporate, not me," like, they always, like, try and punch down, and that's the worst part of any movement, right? It's like people punching down on each other versus, like, punching up towards the boss. Um, but yeah,
Strikes that happen like that, they're not because we hate the game or anything.
exactly.
It's a response to the company.
We
The
love the game, and that's why
Yeah,
we're striking.
yeah, exactly. We like what we do and we believe in what we do. And when the company does something stupid like, lay off 30% of the QA workforce, then we need to respond in some way.
Exactly. Hell yeah, love it. Solidarity forever.
Now,
Absolutely.
what types of games are your favorites? If you could choose one game to work on or one studio, what would be your go-to? Who would you choose?
I cannot remember the studio that made it, but I've like fallen in love with Hotline Miami. It's really
Mm,
difficult, but QA testing that game would be super fun. It's the curse of a QA tester, right? I found bugs in that game, and I'm like,
nice.
I would report this so fast. Like, what was it? There was a dog. If you've ever played Hotline Miami, dogs are like the worst enemy. Um, they're fast and they get you like immediately.
It also
Um,
just feels bad to put them down. You're
Yeah.
like,
it
I don't
does.
want to do this.
It does. And then but there was one level in Hotline Miami 2 where a dog got caught between the walls and a fountain on this level, and it was just spinning around in a circle trying to
Nice.
reach me, and I
Poor
couldn't
dog.
shoot it
Oh,
because
no.
it,
Do you ever feel the urge to write up an email bug report and just send it to like the
Honestly, that
company's
could be a good
email address?
portfolio. Yeah,
yes,
just you make that your cover letter. Just be like, "Here's 5 bugs I found in your software. Here's why you should hire me."
That would be an amazing fucking portfolio. I would
Oh,
immediately
yeah.
hire that person.
Right? Like,
Absolutely.
you're like,
Yeah.
"Damn, you did free work." Especially in QA.
I, I
Wow,
think
free labor.
I think what got me into QA actually was in college. I was taking a German class, and I was messing with Pearson's software, and I found out that the hash that they use for your password would get put into the password fields right as you log in, and you could disable the thing that stopped you from copying text, and then
Nice.
and
Hack the
then
planet.
basically, and then submitted a report to the. They didn't have a bug reporting feature, so I had to like make a feedback comments thing, and like this is a serious thing. Like this could violate FERPA, and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and and that was uh by the end of the semester they had changed the thing without reaching out to me because it's
Aw.
Pearson. But that like showed me how interesting QA could be, and also kind of makes me want to work in information security.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I did QA work for BattleNet, and I did those tests too, where like, can you screenshot something while you're logging in, or it's the funnest stuff to like expose. They also do like hackathons where like they'll offer a prize, where it's like, get through our infallible software and we'll give you money, and you're like, haha, I broke it, and then they give you money.
Was a thing
um,
with Apple, what was it, a couple years ago? So, like a 16-year-old found a major vulnerability.
yeah,
Got like, what was it, like $100,000 from Apple or something?
yep, they do that. It's great.
Just as an update, the Hotline Miami is developed by Denton Games and published by Devolver.
Okay.
Oh,
Denison
that's right. It
Games.
is Devolver. Yeah. So, would you prefer to work
All
in
the way in
indie games
Sweden.
then?
I I think
Sweden.
indie games would be where it's at for
Yeah.
like QA, because uh like no hate on the games that I work with, the AAA games. They can be super fun. Even in some of the games that get a lot of hate, I find a lot of ways to enjoy them. But like indie games are pushing like a lot of the innovations in the
I
gaming
agree.
industry. So
And
Are you
like
trying to? Whoa, whoa,
storytelling.
whoa! I'm sorry. I will not stand here idly by while you say that Call of Duty, the yearly Call of
Oh
Duty
my god.
releases, do not innovate and push the industry forward. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm sorry. I'm. This is too much for me. Absolutely not.
like the what was it, Undertale, like the
Oh,
save,
Yeah.
yeah. I loved
like the
Undertale.
remembering the save points or remembering previous run throughs, like QA
Who's this
testing, that would be super interesting.
who's the studio behind Cuphead? Because I would hate my life if I had to test that game because it's so difficult. It's
That
so
yeah,
difficult.
Let's
that
see.
would be
Cuphead is Studio MDHR.
Okay, also indie, right? Yeah,
Correct.
they are like reinventing the wheel. It's crazy. It's awesome to see
There's
though.
also a Cuphead TV show coming out, which is
I saw that.
on Netflix
Isn't it
right now.
already out?
Yeah, it's on
which is
Netflix.
out.
I think it's first season right now. It's not too. It's
Okay, so hold
uh,
on. I gotta say something about this because we're a labor show. So it's actually not the first season. Like with many companies getting screwed or the workers getting screwed.
Yeah.
Netflix and companies do the thing where like we're gonna order a whole season, and so they get paid for the whole season, but then they split it into like 2 or 3 quote unquote drop
Yeah.
seasons. That helps
'Cause
draw
they
up
want
marketing.
longevity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, they want longevity, but traditionally, what would happen is if your show gets contracted for another season, because usually, like, between seasons they're getting a lot of hype, they're able to merchandise between 2 season
Yeah.
drops, then you get paid more.
Oh no, we
Instead,
lost Al again.
Every
that's what
time Mike starts talking, he's like, "Nope."
I'm over this guy. But so usually you would get a pay raise then as an animator, as a storyboard artist, as a director. This is a way where they just contract a long first season. They're like, we already believe in this show, so we're gonna screw them by contracting like instead of being like, yeah, we'll contract the 12 episodes we want to release or the 20 episodes. They'll be like, oh, we'll contract like 24, 30 episodes and then split them into like 8s or whatever. And
Yeah.
that was the big thing with recently. What was it?
Mm.
Infinity Train. If anyone knows about Infinity Train, which was a very hugely demanded show that Cartoon Network originally passed on and then brought back and then canceled because it was quote unquote too adult. It was they ended up getting they were contracted to do up to 5 seasons. I think they ended up only releasing 3 or 4 seasons because they decided not to continue. But they were all bought under a 1 season like contract basically. So
Gotcha.
like none of the animators got their pay raises between each season or anything like that. And it's like it's
Aw,
happening way too frequently with streaming.
that sucks. They should fix that.
If only there was some sort of
Mm.
organization
Support the animation union, who
that.
is
The
currently
Animation
negotiating
Guild.
right now.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it looks
Or,
like we lost Al, so I feel like we should give Al back to the as he shows up again.
Apparently
Welcome
Discord
back,
hates.
Al.
Apparently, Discord hates me. It's died twice on me
Al,
now.
it's fine. We know
Oh
you just hate
no.
me. We know you just hate me.
I know
It's
it's
fine.
every time Mike comes on, you're like, "Fuck this, I'm out," which I respect that about you because it's your first
Okay,
time on
and
our
ending the
show and you're shitting
stream.
on Mike.
He's like, I gotta establish dominance on this show.
Yeah, bully Mike. It's the way to get ahead. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll let you go. That way it doesn't happen again. I would hate for you to like have the anxiety of when is it gonna die again. But yeah, do you have anything like you want to promote or any final thoughts you want to give to the show for today?
I guess so like some thoughts that I have. If you want to know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that watch the show already know about it, but a better ABK on Twitter, great place to hear about us. We have a uh subreddit too. It's not very active, but personally, I would like to see some more people interacting with us over there.
Nice.
Uh,
I love that.
yeah, it's
Aw,
but
you're
yeah,
plugging a better ABK. That's so kind of you to do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah, I love the folks running our Twitter over there. I think they do a great job.
Oh yeah, they kill it.
Oh yeah. Uh,
Also,
um,
we are GWA.
yeah,
Follow
we are
them.
GWA. That's a new one too. They have a
Raven.
website. They have a website too. If you want to hear more about GWA, uh, I can't remember the URL, but you can definitely look it up. And
GameWorkersAlliance.com.
there we go. There we go.
Hell yeah, love it. Thanks again so much for being here. And yeah, just super excited to have you on. And thanks for having an awesome first GDC with me. I appreciated it.
Thank you. Hopefully, there's a few more coming up in the
Hell
next
yeah.
year.
Let's freaking go.
Oh yeah.
Al, it was super nice talking and meeting with you.
Yeah, it
And
was great to meet with you.
as you progress in the industry, our resources are your resources. So if you ever need anything
Yes.
or would like to be put in contact with a programmer at a company or anything like that, more than happy to make that connection for you.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'll have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Mike, let's get a transition screen going. Actually, I guess we
Oh
don't
no.
need one.
Don't worry, they can't hear you. They can hear me though.
We're back. Welcome
Just
back.
was there any other news that we haven't covered yet that we wanted to get
Um,
to?
yes, and I didn't want to have like Al on such a heavy topic, so um we talked briefly about Alana and everything going on there and the
Yeah.
IGWC or
IGDA.
IGDA. Thank
Yeah.
you. There's so many acronyms in this freaking industry. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to freaking keep up with all the goddamn acronyms.
Unionize against acronyms.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh yeah, that could be the
Alphabet Workers Union.
that could be the UA
No, we're not acronyming this, Josh. Get the
oh
fuck out of
shoot,
here.
right, that's what we're against. Oh my god. We've become the very
Ha
thing we were
ha
fighting
ha.
no.
against.
Classic comedy.
Either die a hero or live long enough to
Look,
have an
we're the
acronym.
weekly stand-up. We gotta
Oh my God.
Sorry.
TWS. Let's go. No, but we talked about Alana. Do we bring up the fact that Alana got blocked by Keemstar? Because
No.
that's huge news. We should talk about that immediately.
Why
Yeah.
did she get blocked by Keemstar is my
I
question.
don't know, but I just saw her tweet and she never tweets like, haha, I got blocked. But I think getting blocked by Keemstar is an achievement. It means you did something good in life, right? Like, damn,
I
Drama
got
Alert doesn't want anything to do with me.
I got blocked by the head of esports who works at Twitch when they announced they were looking for a. Did you guys know about this, right?
I know
Wait,
exactly. I
ooh.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy who works
What?
at Twitch is the head of esports.com, which is basically just a news aggregation website. But their their TikTok has been like straight, and their Twitter has been straight like just ripping other people's edited content and reposting it as their own.
Oh no.
And then he
You got
blocked.
blocked for calling her out?
So he blocked Ludwig's editor, who has been like complaining to him for
Okay.
months for stealing Ludwig's content, which is like actual
Yeah.
creator. And like internally was talking shit on him for complaining. Like he has screenshots of like their Discord.
Oh my
Someone
God.
leaked. And they in the same day posted they were looking for a new TikTok editor. And so I
Right.
just responded with, "Oh damn, you fire MP4 converter?"
Oh my God. And you got blocked.
Insta,
That means
1
it hurt
second.
their
1
feelings.
second, dude.
That's amazing.
My honoring okay, so my blocked achievements are being blocked by Frances Townsend, for calling out that she was in the Hamptons and tweeting about whistleblowers after everything that happened at Blizzard. And then the second one would be being blocked by Thorin, but I guess he blocks everyone, so I can't really say like, ooh, I got blocked by Thorin, because like Thorin just blocks people because they don't agree with what he says. And he also self-proclaimed that he is esports, which is kind of
Yes,
confusing.
it was
Uh,
amazing.
it was great. And that's the blocked fiasco that I was a part of, which I'm honored, right? And for Alana, let's just congratulations to being blocked by such a shit person. Like it just means you're on the right side of everything. So
The internet would be
congrats to
better
you.
if Keemstar didn't exist. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh my god,
Oh,
The whole
Keemstar
world.
is
horrible.
like, yeah, he's like I don't even know. He just looks like someone you'd see on like a great value just for men box or something. And he just like he looks so
Like a thumb. He
everything
looks like
about
a
him.
thumb with a beard. Is
Ugh.
honestly what he looks like.
He's also just
Yeah.
dating like a girl that's like
20-year-olds.
20-some, 30 years
Yeah.
younger than him
And
now.
he's so
I could go
old.
on forever. He's just
Yeah.
Oh
so.
my
I like
god.
how
Dude,
all the
he's
complaints you have, you're
from
just like, he's so old.
he lives in
Okay,
my hometown and it
old
makes
people
me
are
hate
great.
it.
I love old people, but when you're like, if you're Keemstar and you're trying to get with 20-year-olds and like he's very much like, okay, you know YouTube hype beasts. You know how like YouTube people are like, oh my god, it's YouTube and like I'm gonna have dubstep in all my videos and like we're cool, we're gonna laugh really loud at things that aren't funny and just like over enunciate all of our words. So Keemstar's part of that like group that like they are weird and they're just like clout goblins that all feed off each other. And it's weird because the group is so much younger than Keemstar. And it's like, I don't hate on old people or whatever, but it's a little weird that you're trying to hang out with people who can be easily manipulated. And like, especially from someone who's older, more established, been on YouTube a long time. So I think he's using that power dynamic to like,
He's Dave Portnoy. It's just another version of Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. And the thing
yeah,
is, it's like if you are going to interact with these younger people,
right.
be a good influence, be a
Good
mentor to
example.
them. Don't
Don't
like
be a
stoop
shitter.
down to their like immaturity so that you can hang
Yeah,
with them, which is
I
what he
know.
does. Like I'm
It's
sure
cringe.
have
I'll
you
never.
seen the
And that's
video of
how.
him
I know which one you're
interacting?
talking
That
about.
yeah, he literally like busts like they're doing a live stream. It's a bunch of these like the kids
Yeah,
that we're
it's the Aiden
talking
Ross live
about.
stream.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he like busts in and immediately tries to take center stage
Yeah.
by like
Oh my
And that's
god.
what killed
making
his
fun of one
career
of the
recently.
dudes.
Is that like it wasn't the shit he takes. It wasn't like doxing people. It wasn't telling people to kill themselves. It was being cringe on stream. That's what did it.
Right. Yeah, it's so shitty. And you know, he also falsely accused someone of being a pedophile,
Yeah,
which is
there's
a
a lot.
crappy thing to
I'm
do.
gonna cut this off
Like,
here. We're gonna go so deep if we keep like
Yeah.
oh
listing
my
things.
god, I
Like
don't
finish
care.
this
I
one,
want
but
a
let's not
clip
list
that's
more.
like weekly stand-up declares war against Keemstar. Let's freaking go.
Well, then let's make it a
No,
whole
I'm just kidding.
episode, but we're never gonna
Yeah, we'll
end
do
this
that.
one if we.
But yeah, again, congratulations, Alana. Super
Yeah.
happy for you.
Also,
We'll
just
move
shout out to
on
Alana.
Huge
Goated.
shout out.
yeah, in
Huge shout
general,
out.
great
Former
person.
former colleague of
Happy,
mine at IGN.
happy to have her
She's
in the industry.
awesome. But the final
Thanks for
topic.
cutting me off because I could go on.
Oh, same. I caught myself losing my own sanity, and I was like, this needs to stop.
Yeah, oh my god, I get
Oh,
why YouTube drama works now. You just get sucked in.
right?
Like it
Oh,
was just
it's like a bad sitcom.
Josh, when are we starting alert drama
oh
segment?
no, no.
Weekly drama show.
I never want to do like a YouTube drama show or anything that's just like
Weekly tea spill.
anything that just adds noise to the space. Like I hate
Josh,
shows that are just noise.
Josh, you brought me on. I'm literally nothing but noise.
We're good
You're
noise.
yeah, good noise. But yeah, other than
Aww.
like Alana being blocked, she also, bravely shared a bunch of stuff going on that we talked about on YouTube. Along with that, like GDC, surprisingly, but I guess it's like I wasn't surprised, but I was still like, dang, this is crap. There was a lot of like allegations that came out of GDC 2022 that a lot of the after parties and specifically an after party that was sponsored by Activision Blizzard, which was called it was Women in Games International um, after party that was sponsored by Activision Blizzard. There was actually a lot of people that were assaulted at that party, and it's horrible to think about. Like this actually happened, and I feel super bad for like the people that experienced that. But it sounded like there was a lot of like aspiring, like we talked about with Al, there's like students and people that want to be in the game dev space that come to GDC to see what it's like. And they go to these after parties and it's filled with predatory men. And like just unfortunately, it's just filled with predatory men that use it as their like dating grounds, right? So and then they like drink and there's this like culture. And it's so ironic that a party that was sponsored by Activision Blizzard turned it out to be this horrible toxic environment for people, and it just really shows that this is a problem and it's insidious and it's not going away, and we can't just like pay it to go away, and we can't pretend it doesn't exist because it happens everywhere. And unless we're proactive about calling it out and, holding people accountable, it's going to continue to happen. So I feel really sad for the women that attended that party. I heard a little bit about it, but I don't feel like I'm in the space to like talk about exactly what happened. If they choose to come forward, that's fine. But Javiera, who I met at GDC, super prominent voice in the games industry, super advocate. I believe her, and I believe the women she spoke to. I think it's super sad that that happened, and I can't even begin to explain how tired I am that these stories keep coming out, and it's just one after another, and, at GDC, like, there's so much visibility there, why would you even think that, right? And that should just show how pervasive it is in the industry and how people just feel okay to do it because it's been a huge part of the culture for so long.
Yeah, the power dynamics at those events are always so weird, right? Because you've got, like you mentioned, often students who are trying to break in the industry
Yep,
rubbing up against people who are
seasoned.
established,
Mhm.
seasoned, and though they all they want to do is like connect with these people, network, talk, get like their experience and their advice, and then for those people to then in turn take advantage of that power dynamic. Like, I'm sorry, bro,
Yeah.
but like they're not flirting with you, they're not talking to
Yeah.
you like they're 20 years you're younger. They're not trying to sleep with you, dude.
Right.
They're curious about your perspective. So don't abuse that. Like it's
Yeah.
fine if you talk with them, if they engage with you, but don't abuse it. It's really not that hard. The first GDC after party that Jess, I don't know if you went to any after
I
parties.
didn't go to any just because COVID, I was trying to be safe, and I heard that a lot of people
Yep.
got exposed at those too, so I was like, precaution, it was a good thing for me, so I
I'm
didn't bring it
glad
home.
I'm glad, yeah, with
Mhm.
COVID going on, I'm glad you didn't go to any of them.
Yeah.
And also just like when I went, I had the after parties were pretty dope because they funnel these large companies like funnel like pretty stupid money into them, and they're
Yeah.
usually like production value wise like awesome. But I noticed like really weird dudes talking to
Yep.
like much older dudes talking to like younger girls at all of these parties, and it's just like this is uncomfy. Like I just stayed with my group and had a good time with them, but looking around, it's just like this is
It's gross.
weird vibes.
And it's predatory, right? Like, it's just these guys that don't have any self-awareness for boundaries. Like, it's just like, now is not the time, now is not the place. If you vibe with someone, then that's fine. But you don't go in there saying like, "Ooh, look at all these break-in devs who want what I have, and let me go talk to them." And like, if you're doing that and approaching in a disingenuous way, there's people talking about it, just so you know. Like, be afraid because you're already in a whisper network if you do things like this.
Yeah.
So, even though you're not out right now, people know who you are, and you should conduct yourself accordingly,
And
at these events.
Babushka Audio in chat makes a good point. You know, it makes it impossible for femme people to tell if they're actually making a professional
Oh
connection
my
or
god.
if they're just trying to get with you. And that's so true. Can you imagine always
Yeah,
having that in the back of your head? Like, is this
I
person
do.
actually
That is
interested
something
in
that
helping
happens
my
to me.
career? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I can't. I honestly, like, I can't imagine. I don't know what that's like. That must suck.
Yep, it happened to me actually at an indie company that I worked at. I worked on a game called Marvel Strike Force, and Fox had just bought our company, which was called Aftershock previously. And we had a big mixer with like Aftershock employees and Fox employees. And this one man approached me and was like, "Oh, what do you do? Oh, you're in quality assurance. Like, that's awesome, this and that." And he saw my wedding ring and then 180 total, don't care about QA, don't care about anything going on. And it's just like, cool. Thanks for the genuine conversation. um, People are like that. It's gross. Like, you shouldn't be using industry parties or any of that to like be dating people because it's not the vibe. And you should be representing, like, especially in a freaking event sponsored by Activision Blizzard, who's already under so much turmoil for sexual harassment and discrimination. And, they gave Women in Games International the money because it's like, we're trying to improve our image. And then, like Kate says here, I was super disappointed hearing that, especially since Women in Games International parted ways with Activision, and this was supposed to be our big reconciliation. And it was because of everything that happened with Jen O'Neill. It was supposed to be like, they distanced themselves from Activision Blizzard, and then Activision Blizzard was like, no, we'll sponsor a party. And then at that party, people get assaulted. So it's just like, you're not going to fix the problems in the industry by throwing money at it. You're not going to fix it by band-aiding it. You have to fix it by holding yourself accountable and being proactive against that behavior, and like, teaching people to freaking conduct themselves like better, I guess. I don't know. I really don't get it. I wish it wasn't so like blatant, right? Like, it's just like, how do you do that? Like, I can't think of doing that to someone, you know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah.
And it just shows you why, like, it's such a problem in the industry, and why it's not gonna go away unless we're really fighting against it. And
Yep.
yeah, and these people think it's okay, and that's why they do it. Um,
The GDC is supposed to be a celebration of all of our hard work and a place that you can go to be with other like-minded people and expand your
right,
network. And you should be able to go to these after parties as part of that celebration and enjoy
right.
yourself without feeling nervous about what's going to happen. Like it's unacceptable.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, and it shouldn't feel like you're, like, meat that's, like, on the chopping block for people to, show up and like, prove you're worthy to, this industry by, like, how much of yourself are you willing to give to the industry? "Hmm, I have power," it's gross, and it's something that I wish didn't exist. And it's unfortunately something that we saw happen in the films industry with the Me Too movement, and you're seeing it a lot now because, people for a long time have been used and abused in this industry, and we're just gonna continue to see it until accountability is had in some fashion.
Yeah. And, people always, our chatters always ask, what can we do to contribute to the movement, unionization, all this stuff. The best thing you can do is just keep talking about what we're talking about. And when you see stuff like news, like the harassment that was going on at the Women in Games International event, when you see stuff like that on Twitter, just retweet it, give it a
Yep,
retweet, give your perspective, comment, engage with the discussion. That's the best thing that we can do. Just keep it in the
right.
news cycle.
Yeah, and I don't like to tell people to boycott things. Like, I let people boycott things on their own, and I don't judge them for their boycott choices because it's freaking impossible. If we boycotted all the things that were being unethical, we wouldn't have anything, right? So I tell people, if you choose to boycott, fine. If you don't, if you still want to play the game, if you want to stream the game and talk about the like suffering that the workers are going through, the workers that created the game that you enjoy. Like, you're still allowed to be part of the conversation, even though you're consuming the content. So that's another thing to think about as well.
Absolutely. 100%. So yeah, I hate to end this episode on such like a negative note,
Yeah.
but unfortunately that's the stuff that we have to deal with the industry and that women in
And that we're still
particular have to
dealing
deal
with.
with.
Like,
Yep.
look at the DFEH lawsuit that just went out, and this incident happened last week. Like, this week it happened, and it's sad to see leadership just pretending it doesn't happen, right? And this is why you're continuing to see these things happen. And without accountability, they're going to continue to. And it's unfortunate. And yeah, like, we would want to end the show on something better, but maybe we can start another show with, hey, everyone unionize, and this is why it's great.
Yeah. And we do this so that I have hope for the future because
Oh
everyone
yeah.
who
Yeah.
is our age and is going to slowly replace out the old guard, all those creepy men at those parties.
We're
Not to say
coming
that
for
there
you.
are look, that's not to say that there aren't
Yeah.
young predators either, like people our age who also engage in the same predatory and creepy behavior because there absolutely
There
are, there
are.
always will
Mhm.
be. But I do hope that as more responsible people take senior positions in the industry,
Right.
will be more legitimate mentors in the industry and people willing to take people no matter what gender under their wing
Yeah.
without like the expectation of a give and take relationship. As we start to replace those people, I think that the industry will only get better. And I look forward to the
Agree.
day that we can all go to GDC and hang out and party and dance without weird dudes grinding up against you.
Yeah, we'll interview devs on the floor. We'll be like, "Weekly stand-up, do you have anything to say?" And then they're like, "Fuck off." We're like, "All right, bye." And then we go to the next booth.
Well, I'll be grinding up against Mike. Mike and me will
Yo,
be
for
will be
real, I
Yeah.
need to go clubbing. It's been too long. I love me some dancing. Let's go.
Aw, I love it.
I'm so awkward on the dance floor. You do not want
I'm
to see
just
that.
awkward, so on the dance floor is worse.
Also, if there
I
somehow
will
ends up
literally floss the entire time. I'll just be like,
yes,
you know, like,
yes.
please leave. And then Ninja's like, hi, I'm suing you for copyright infringement.
Well, dude, I'm just honored that Ninja's at our after party. So
Oh my god, no, he's not invited ever.
Ninja is kind of is he one of the shitty streamers? Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
definitely not
because
the
he's
worst, but he's bad.
misogynistic.
Yeah.
Oh, is
He
he?
refuses to stream with women out of respect for
Is
his
that
wife,
real?
which is
Oh
dumb.
my god,
Yes.
he was the guy who made that comment. That is the
Yeah.
dumbest fucking thing.
And then he also made the
We're
tweet about
inciting
like
war
the
against
sandwich.
Keemstar
Hold
and
on, let me find
Ninja.
this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm finding it. Hold on.
God, he's such a fucking misogynist, and his wife has internalized misogyny and uses it to beat down on other women because she did it to Pokimane, and I'm coming for that ass, Jessica Blevins.
Yeah,
You
that
heard
shit
me.
was wild.
Fuck you.
Okay, this
All
is
right,
a,
you
this
a
is
lot
a
of
Pokimane,
screenshot,
you
but I
gotta
can
go
tell
through
you,
me.
I can tell you this was a real tweet. This was a real tweet. This is not fake news. This was a real tweet, Josh.
And it's such a League of Legends, like average League of Legends player, can I just say? I've played League of Legends since season 2 and continue to. It's my favorite and worst favorite game. Uh, and this tweet is the average League of Legends player from Ninja. He says, I'm in the middle of carrying a League of Legends game, about to close it out, and my braless wife brings me a sandwich, not asked for, with chips, as I get a double kill bot lane. So how's your day going? What a fucking absolute unit. What an alpha male.
What a
His
loser.
braless wife brought him a sandwich while he got a double kill bot lane. Come on.
Damn, he's really living the life, huh?
Really living the life.
Don't let him
Uh,
live this down. Just don't, whatever you do, don't let him live this down.
Oh yeah, he's gonna like send me.
Oh,
a
hold
cease
on,
and
there's an ad,
desist.
hold
I can
on.
already smell it.
Hold on, I have an
Oh
ad coming, hold on.
shit!
Mike, why don't you have
You
ad
have
blocker?
ad
What are you
blocker?
doing, bro?
I do. I don't know why. I think it's glitching. Here we go. I got it. No ad. No ad.
Oh,
I have ad blocker for $5. Never let him live this down. Where he flossed in front of all
oh
of New Year's
yeah,
and
it
no
was like
one
raining
no
and
one
no
knew
one
who
else
he
did
was.
it. Ugh, loved it.
There we go. Look at this. What a man.
I love the pink hair. So he's like, I like women. My hair is pink, but he's actually misogynistic, and he refuses to stream with women, which is so fucked because women already don't feel like they
Look at
belong in the
this.
game.
Shots. Oh, it's so iconic.
That's awkward as fuck.
Getting
Oh my God,
rained
look at
on
him.
in a suit. No one's doing it. No one even knows who you are.
I want to like show. I want to go back in time and show this to like a Victorian era person, and then just like watch their brain explode trying to figure out what it means.
The evolution of misogyny here.
Oh my
The
god.
final form.
He's not the most misogynistic, but there's a low bar in the games industry. He's definitely someone that sucks.
Yeah, he just sucks. He's not like trash,
He
but he
sucks.
sucks.
He's not like, oh, like fucking burn this guy.
Yeah.
He legit like has some misogynistic views about women that
He's not
need
banned
to be
streamer
challenged.
we can't talk about now because he's banned on Twitch. But like he's bad.
Yeah.
Now, Adana 55 in the chat said apparently his wife followed up with a tweet that said, "Little does my husband know I ordered the sandwich and fucked the delivery guy because he plays too much LOL."
No, that's a fake thing you just
Is that
read.
fake?
That was a joke.
Aw,
That's called
I
a
was
joke.
hoping that would be. I don't. What's
Yeah,
a joke? I don't understand what
I don't
a
think
joke
Jessica
is.
Blevins is that
The-
based.
The joke is that like
I don't know.
he's
I
not
don't explain the concept of a joke to me.
okay,
Like, I don't
so
understand what a joke is.
it's one or two things. You either subvert expectations or you force a light on something we don't want to address directly. And the comedy comes from either the awkwardness or the realization of how shitty something is normally.
Mm.
And so what happens then is that your brain gets filled with these chemicals that then causes contractions in the lungs and
Wait.
forces air out in a sound that is also what we would consider humorous and spirals the joke further into what we call comedy.
Speaking of
Thank
comedy,
you.
Jess, I have a very serious question to ask you.
Yeah, go for it.
If you had to choose,
Oh
would
no.
you-
Stop!
One
No,
question.
no, I will
Would
end
you-
the stream.
No, no,
I
no,
will
no, no.
end the
Shh,
stream.
shh, shh. No, Mike. I will ask my question, and you will give me this time. Jess, would
Yes.
you choose if you had to choose unlimited snacks but no video games, or unlimited
HR.
video games but no video games? Choose.
We need HR.
The last one is a contradictory and an oxymoron because how can you have all the video games and know the video games?
Well, you get unlimited video games,
but no game.
but no game. Yeah.
Snacks?
Okay, all right, reasonable choice. I personally like video games, so I would choose the video games.
I mean, I like video games, but I like them now from afar because I have no freaking time to play them, and the only time I do have to play them, I play League of Legends, which isn't a video game. It doesn't exist.
No, it's a
It's
lifestyle.
horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a lifestyle.
Wait, Jess, we should play League of Legends together sometime.
We
Occasionally play
should.
too. Yeah.
On
I
on
will make myself a sandwich brawler so we can go and we'll just play it.
on the note of how you were saying about like, oh, this encompasses League of Legends, I tried Valorant again for the first time like a year and a half. I got into like my first solo lobby, and
No,
it's
I'm
gonna be a clip
sorry.
I'm posting on my Twitter. But the response from like, hey guys, like me like, hey guys, I'm new, like I'm not very good, just a heads up, like I don't want like just to set the expectation. Just the immediate response from them, like, yep, okay.
Shut the hell up, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
That was
Dude,
one
that
of them.
happened to
That was
me.
one.
I was playing GTA 5 online and I had a pink car and they were like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, no. And then they like blew it up with a rocket and I never played GTA 5 online ever again.
Did I ever
Oh my
tell
god.
you about my first experience finding people on comms in Apex?
Oh,
No.
So it was like the day of launch, right? And I wish I had clipped this. I was streaming. Like it happened live. My audience knows about this. Like it's like part of like lore, basically.
great.
Mike lore, my
I
favorite.
always start whenever I'm with randoms. I always try to like send nice stuff, like, hey, what's up, everybody? Like just kind of like see who has mics and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's a competitive, cooperative game. And I've been like so down and out. I'm like, oh, no one has a mic. Like we're getting like played by people who are communicating and stuff like that. And finally, someone has a mic, and it's just it's just a girl, and she's like, "Hi there, nice to meet you." I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
Aw.
And then the second she says that, their player's like, "Shut the hell up, bitch!" Like, and just like
Dude, for
starts
real,
harassing
for
her.
real.
We don't even get
Yeah.
the drop. By the time we get the drop, she immediately just quits the game, and I'm like, I did not think this was a thing at
That
the
is a
time,
metaphor
2019.
for how women are treated in the
Yeah.
industry and continues to happen
Yep.
until you call out the shitty behavior because kitchen jokes aren't funny. All right. You could be more creative.
I have so many friends who, if we're not like they refuse to use public chat. They'll only like
Yeah, same. I
chat in our
have people
Discord
that mute
channels.
all. Yeah.
Yep. And it's sad, you know? It
Yeah, it
like
is.
for people that don't play games with an established like Discord group or whatever, and they do just want to join the game and like chat
Yeah.
with the community already there. It's a bummer that like there's just gonna people that like immediately will shout you out because of your sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it sucks because a lot of people, like myself included, use video games to escape the shitty things that are going on in their life
Yep.
already, and then you're continuing to pile on top of that, which sucks. You know.
I will never forget my first experience when I got a mic and I realized you could chat with people in games. It was in Counter-Strike, the original
Oh
Counter-Strike.
no.
Got my first mic, and I literally just like the 15-year-old Josh would like crowd like I'm like this is a reenactment. I'm doing the like the crouch animation.
Mhm.
I'm just crouch animation and going up to people and being like, "Hi," and just crowd and just like it was
I
so
love it.
See,
I Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I used like TeamSpeak or Curse Voice when that was a thing
oh
back in
yeah,
like the league days,
yeah.
and it was hit or miss. Like it was just people that didn't want to talk to a woman playing video games, so they would mute themselves. I've had people like add me after a game, like, "Oh yeah, we did great bot lane together," and then they find out I'm a girl and they block me, which is shitty.
weird. I don't know if I
Yeah.
just got lucky or what happened, but like my first online community in terms of like not text chat was Halo 3. And I just found
Mm,
like an actual group of friends who were like my online friends for like 4 years after that point, like
hell
more
yeah.
than some of my
Oh,
in-person
I did find
friends.
groups of friends that were cool. Yeah.
And then when I would start like encountering these things later, I was like, wait, what? Because like my expectation was set so positively that it would
Yeah.
just be like, I just thought we were here to play video games together and hang out with people that like this IP. What's going on?
Yeah. It's crazy. Also, can I just say maidenless behavior? If you do that, you are a maidenless motherfucker. Okay?
Wait, what?
I said that is
No
maidenless
maidens?
Oh,
behavior.
No
maidenless
maidens?
behavior.
No maidens?
No
No
maidens?
maiden.
No
Like make that meme.
maidens?
Maidens. Yeah.
It's
Maidens.
I it is a bummer. I don't know. We all have those early like fundamental gaming experiences, and it sucks that like not everybody had a great like
Yeah.
first experience with that stuff.
I mean, for as shitty as a lot of my experiences were, I actually met some lifelong friends who I would have
Oh.
never met if it wasn't for League of Legends, so unfortunately, that game changed my life.
That's a statement you never want to say in public. League of Legends changed my
Oh my
life.
god, I know. When it's
That
so
doesn't mean
funny
it's
'cause, like,
positive.
when people are like, "What's your favorite game?" I always say League of Legends, but then I'm like, "My favorite and least favorite game are both League of Legends." And then they're like, "I understand."
I guess that's
Look,
probably my answer with Yu-Gi-Oh too. Is like I love and hate this game.
Yeah.
I think
Gosh,
that
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Riot really is best positioned, and I kind of want to do a whole episode dedicated to this, but Riot, I feel like, is best positioned to overtake Blizzard as sort of like the industry leader because
Standard, yeah.
like even though there's still shady shit going on at the executive level, like the walkouts made a difference in the end.
Mhm.
They
Oh,
awarded all
yeah.
of the victims an insane amount, like life-changing amounts of
Yeah,
money,
right.
and just the quality of games that they put out, like they were the first studio to like really have a high quality like Netflix show that
Oh,
reached like
yeah.
mainstream. Blizzard was so well positioned to do that with any of its
Yep.
IPs,
And
and
that's
they
what they
never got
wanted to
around to it.
do. Yeah, that's what they wanted to do, Blizzard Entertainment. They wanted to do all of those things, right? But I think part of it was, like, the ego battle that, like, I don't know, I can't say specifically, but I will say that it's unfortunate, right? Because the IPs are amazing,
Mhm.
and you're seeing Riot do all this awesome stuff, and it gives you FOMO a little bit, like, what could have been.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Riot's not perfect, they have their own shit, but
Yep.
they also listen to their community, which I think is fucking awesome. Like they overhauled their entire lore stories, and they had like the lore designers or the people that like wrote the lore that came in to fix it because it was kind of all over the place early. They actually listened to the community feedback and like integrated a lot of that feedback into the lore, which I think is super cool. I wish Blizzard did that a little bit just because
Yeah.
I know it's hard for like egos, right? Like you think you want it, but you don't, or like, not listening to the fans. And that's why you kind of saw a lot of the fans be really upset with the Immortal launch because it's not that they didn't want a mobile game. It's that they felt they weren't being listened to by the developers, and the developers like, here's this thing that you didn't ask for. And
And then
they
made fun of
obviously wanted.
fans
Yeah,
when there was
exactly.
backlash.
with
Yeah.
with no
Exactly, yeah.
plans of what they actually want. It's like it's not that you
No.
can't do things that people aren't asking for. It's that
Right.
they weren't doing anything else.
Anything, yeah. And that's the thing too, is like they already didn't feel like they were heard. And I think part of like having fans and having a community is actually getting feedback from that community. And I can't say I know everything about like Blizzard and the way that they engage the community, but it did feel very much like Blizzard knows best. Kind of like, I mean, I don't know if anyone else watches wrestling, but oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm talking about it. Vince McMahon has this view of like, I know what the fans
Oh
want.
yeah,
They
of
don't know what
course.
they want.
Piece of
And
shit.
because of that, you're seeing a lot of like of the main people that come out getting booed, and that's not because they're terrible, it's because it's not what the fans want, and, like, we're the people that, you're supposed to be your target audience. Listen to us, right? So I think you see a lot of that with League and Riot in general now, and that's why they're getting a lot of, like, press
Yeah.
and everything with Arcane. Arcane's amazing. Even people that, like, don't play League love Arcane.
God,
Also,
I love
don't start
Arcane.
playing League just because you like Arcane,
I
because
will
you will
not.
hate it.
I
You
will
will
not.
hate it. Everyone will be mean to you. Yeah.
I really want to like be able to play Valorant proficiently. I just can't play non-movement shooters because I started with Halo.
Yeah.
So like I like
Oh.
try to jump back in and I'm like, I love the characters. I love this world. It's very much like same result Overwatch. Like
Yeah.
the wrapper of this game is amazing. But I, for the life of me, cannot fucking headshot motherfuckers
It
without moving.
reminds me.
It's like I take
Yeah, it
one
reminds me
step
of, like,
and I go
CS:GO.
all the way to the left. It's like, that's not realistic. I don't care if you say it is. It's just, if I have an op and I'm aiming it straight, even if it skews, it shouldn't go left off my screen.
I think we broke Mike.
Yeah, Mike's getting heated.
Mike is off the rails, like, this whole time.
We triggered him.
We've triggered Mike. It's great.
What were you about to say, Jess?
I don't remember because Mike's passion, like, whoa. I was like, he really fucking hates this game. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I really want to love it. I'm just bad. It's about me. It's about
Oh
me.
my God, me. I'm like, I want to love this game, but I'm bad.
If the Apex could just make like a search and destroy mode with open comms, then I'd be happy.
I love it.
I
Wow. I was gonna say we had a long show today.
We did. Well, it's funny because when we originally planned the weekly stand-up, it was like we set it to be like from 1 to 3, and
Yeah,
every episode we run out of stuff to talk about before
right?
3. So this is the first one we're like technically on time.
And also, I wasn't at the last show, so it's cool because I'm back now. I have a bunch of crap to talk about. So,
Dude, last show's it was
That
so
show was
cool. It was
great.
such a good
We're bringing them
discussion.
back for sure.
Yeah.
aw, yay! I'm excited. I'm glad it went well. I
Oh,
was
it didn't go
busy
well. We
about
just
it.
had fun.
Oh,
No, it went well.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was like, oh, it's cool. Great.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see everything that what Riot does, and I think that one day everything going on with Blizzard in the last 5 years is gonna be in the textbooks, like
Yeah.
ad marketing and PR courses in college, because
Oh yeah.
that's a textbook example of like how you lose up decades of goodwill in
Yep.
like the span of 4 years.
Yeah. That's
And
how
you
you fall from grace.
you see it
Not
represented
gracefully.
like at fan events, right? Whereas
Yep.
everybody used to wear Arthas cosplay, Sylvanas
hmm
cosplay, all of the Warcraft and Overwatch characters. Now that's being replaced with Riot IP
Mm,
characters like League of Legends, Arcane, all the good stuff. Like someone showed up at my
yeah.
Halloween party as a Valorant character, and it was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
Oh,
say
yeah.
though,
Yeah, Rudy's
totally
cosplay was
random.
great.
Totally random that I know this, but I just read it on the news recently. What's her name? The Activia lady.
What?
Activia lady. The lady that does the Activia
We are
commercials.
Jess, you're talking to people who are not the target market for this.
Okay, no. Okay, she was in the movie Freaky Friday. She's the mom. Oh my God, what's her freaking name?
Wait,
Anyway,
the reboot or the
she-
original?
the reboot.
Oh,
Anyway,
she's a weeb
she-
too. She's a weeb.
yes.
Oh,
And
what's her
there's a
name?
reason I'm bringing her up.
I'm finding
Jamie
it.
Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Thank
Curtis,
you.
yes.
Jamie Lee
Okay,
Curtis.
that goes
I
to
could have said
Babushka.
Halloween. Jeez. Jamie Lee Curtis is officiating her daughter's wedding dressed as Jaina Proudmoore.
Yeah, she's a whole weeb. She's great. I love her.
It's
She's
awesome.
great.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
it's funny that you just mentioned that because I'm like, no, wait, Blizzard does have, haha.
She was at, I forget if it was the newest one or the one before it, but she was literally at the red carpet for like the newest My Hero movie.
Yeah.
Like she's super nerd culture.
She's an ally. She's the best.
Oh yeah,
Sick.
she's
Love
an
her.
ally. She's great.
Yeah. So yeah, she gets some Blizzard cosplay.
Rob in the chat says she's been to a bunch of BlizzCons in full cosplay, apparently.
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Yeah,
Google
which
this
is
now.
cool.
See,
I
this
want her
is
to
this
be,
is how we
like,
get to the
face
3
of our
hour.
movement. Can we find her and be like, hey?
If we get
can
Jamie
you
Lee Curtis on the
tell-
show, I'm hosting. I'm co-hosting.
But like, Jamie, help us unionize, please. I want to get Kevin Bacon too. Kevin Bacon needs to be like the face of Footloose and Fancy Free unions.
All right, hold on. So I just googled Jamie Lee Curtis cosplay. Here we go. We're just gonna see what we find here.
Nice.
So
I feel like
got-
we're off the rails now.
We got this
We,
one.
we have moved into off the rails territory, or as we recently decided. So since off the rails is already taken by H3, Jess, how do you
Yeah.
feel about like the side episodes being called side quest?
Oh, I like that side
cute, right?
quest.
We
Or
just gotta be
sidebar.
careful because SideQuest is a big fundraising streamer
Oh.
group as well. I don't
Well,
think they would
okay.
care personally, but just to be aware.
I feel like it's
Okay.
more on brand, you know.
Okay, I like it. Side quests.
Oh, it's just this one from Warcraft keep comes up from the Warcraft premiere.
It's still sick though. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
she's a
That's pretty
huge
sick.
fan. I think also Mila Kunis is like a big fan of WoW.
Yeah, she is. She is. I remember
Yeah.
seeing her in a documentary at one point, and
Super cool.
I was like a young nerdy Josh, and I was like, wait, cool people play World of Warcraft too. I'm
Yeah.
not alone.
You're like, what? Attracted
Josh is like,
to-
I
she's,
won't
like, one of
die
my
alone.
crushes.
No, I mean I still will for sure.
No,
But
we'll
it has
listen.
to do with my own commitment issues.
Josh,
We can
you
dive into
know,
that another time.
if you're willing to put yourself out there, you can make it work. Oh, I got Rob's
Famous
link.
words
Sorry,
from
thank you. Sorry about Nightbot, but I got it here. Hold on.
Sorry, Rob.
In
Sorry for what
disguise.
Nightbot did to you.
In disguise.
Incognito, BlizzCon 2015. Self-report.
That's super cool. Wait, did I go to that? No, I went to 2016. Damn it.
Oh, I've never been to a live BlizzCon. My first one was the
I went to
the
2.
virtual one.
I swear to
I
God,
got to 2 and then did the virtual.
I swear to God, if E3, which will unfortunately one day die out, doesn't have at least one more in-person event I can go to, because I've never been to one, and I moved out here before the
I've
pandemic,
never been.
I will lose it.
Yeah,
I'll lose
Mike,
my mind.
I think I'm sorry, but I think E3 is actually.
I think
dead,
it is
dude.
too, but I think they'll do one more. I think
Yeah.
there'll
Wait,
be
that's-
in my head, someone's gonna like someone's gonna come in and be like, no, we want this. Yeah, because always happens, right? Like it gets brought back for
Yeah.
like one more thing because some outside money like comes in and thinks they can do it better and make the money off it. And my dream, if anyone's out there, my dream is to be a guest at E3 to host content. I don't care
like
how
that.
small it is. It could be one game dev's booth. I do not care. But that has always been one of my dreams. Is to host content at an E3
Sick.
piece of coverage.
I love that.
So if my bosses are listening too, that'd be great.
One last thing I wanted to bring up, and we'll do a whole show to cover this because I have many top things to say about it. But there were a lot of blockchain people at EDC.
Oh my
EDC.
god.
Oh my god, my raver came out right now. I meant GDC. There were blockchain people, and like this one guy in particular, his booth was like, buy an NFT and then get early access to a game or something, and it was just like, ew, gross. Like that's worse than pre-ordering something. And then there was this other guy with shirts that said, we ship AAA titles on the blockchain fast, which one, AAA titles don't exist on the blockchain, so he's lying. The shirt's a lie. Two, nobody engaged the NFT people. Like we just didn't want it, and I hope that they know that they're unwelcome.
I want every
Unwelcome.
step they take in a convention to feel like they're walking on Legos.
Oh yeah, it was 100% like that. It was like, oh, what do you do? Oh, you work on the blockchain? Oh, gross.
Was it Cinder? I don't know who Cinder is.
I don't remember. It was just a bunch of dudes that were trying to network and like it's weird because the NFT campaigns are always the same. It's like, look at famous person that supports NFT. Look at other famous person that supports NFT. But then like no meat. It's like, here's the front of what we are.
No
but then
maidens?
it's like no maidens. It's like when we ask you, okay, like what good does this do for a game that it doesn't already have, right?
Right.
Like, and they're just like, blah, 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 and it's like, fuck off.
That catchphrase, that line, like, we ship AAA games on the blockchain faster. That doesn't even make sense because
You don't know
the-
what a AAA game is if you think that they ship fast.
also like the blockchain would not impact the development. Like there's no area of the development process, whether it's programming, art,
Yeah,
or design, that blockchain would enhance. Like blockchain is
right,
something that, like, if it is even instituted properly, is something that comes in after the game is out and finished.
right.
There's like
Yeah.
product stuff, like cosmetics and stuff like that. There's no way in which it would make development of a game faster. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
It's why you can tell it's a grift. Like
Yeah.
every time that it's just this like, give us money as fast as you can, and then they give you nothing. Um, it's very much the vibe. And yeah, just super funny to see them there. We could do a whole show on NFTs and why I hate them. But we will save that for another day.
Yeah, it might be next week's episode. We got to figure out the
Nice.
topic for the next
I like
one,
that. It
but
might literally be next week. Like maybe
it might-
someday,
yeah, actually,
maybe
it might
next
be
week.
next week. We
Just
gotta figure
release
that
my
out.
unbridled rage on NFTs in the
Okay.
entire community.
Give me
Oh,
like a week to like find people for this.
All right,
okay. I will
might be a
keep them
bit.
alive. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks,
Doesn't
head
have
of
to be
PR and
next week. It
social
can be the
Ollie,
next
Mad
week.
Lad.
Oh, hey, hi, whoops. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
still live.
Oh, hey everybody.
Have you drank your bowl of coffee today?
No, you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you don't have the
last
update.
week.
All right, come on. Let's go to three.
Wait,
Turn on your
wait, you
camera.
can't- Yep.
Turn on your
yep,
camera.
Yep.
There's an
Okay,
update.
hold on.
Oh,
There's
I
been an
can.
update.
Yes, I would love to see this. Yes. Oh my God,
Hey,
that looks like
wow.
a fire
Yes.
extinguisher.
It does look like a fire extinguisher, and it's filled with a gallon of coffee, so I could use it to put out fires.
I'm so
Actually.
glad that you've upgraded. I'm super happy for you that we were able to do that for you. I'm just gonna credit the show.
And
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
next week, viewers, with your support to the channel, we can all get fire hydrant size coffee holders. Oh my God, it is so much. Wait, hold it all the way up. I want to see the bottom. Jesus
Insane.
Christ.
It
It just
I'm
keeps
glad that you
going.
upgraded.
it keeps like
It's
tilting
so
more in the
fucking
frame, and the
ridiculous.
bottom never showed up, and my brain just got broke.
I'm so proud
Oh,
of this thing. It makes me so happy. And I don't spill coffee everywhere. See, it's got a lid, and you can do this.
Yeah.
And you can, like, kind of just, I mean, it's never actually sealed. But, like, yeah. See, I can just do this and then walk around and,
even the sound it made was just so industrial and
it
extra.
is. So every morning I've been drinking a gallon of coffee. I need to work on this.
Just put a
My
keypad on
design
it.
Drugs
feedback
at
is
this
that
point, like
I mean, just
It
like IV direct. Yes. Sounds like
Yeah.
what?
It has very visceral feedback. It's got good gameplay. It feels good. The mechanics.
I would say
Oh
just-
my
are
god.
nice.
Just add a keypad to that, and it'd be some piece of tech out of like a Metal Gear Solid game.
It would. Oh my god.
So coming next
Yes.
week, we've got Mad Lad Coffee NFTs releasing.
Yes.
Oh
soon.
no.
Yeah,
No, no,
You
no.
can put it on the blockchain.
No,
okay,
I am
here's a
putting my
crazy
foot
idea.
down.
Crazy idea. What if we make one game, right? And put it on the blockchain. So only one person at a time can play this game.
No.
So you can play the game that someone else has played, and you
No.
can like have a
No.
No,
Veto.
because I worked on a game that actually made you like check out Excel sheets to fucking do design work on it, and then only one person at a time could check it out, and then one person had to check it in before someone else
Oh,
could
God.
check it out and do the work. And it's the
No.
worst fucking thing. Don't do it. Don't do it.
okay.
Um,
That sounds terrible.
Gaming is for
Yeah.
everyone.
Socialism is when gaming, okay? Like everyone can benefit from playing a game.
Socialism is when maidens.
Yes, and also gaming.
Wait, is this
But
going
would
back
you
to
rather-
Josh's?
But would
Okay.
you rather have
Oh my god, no.
unlimited snacks
Right.
but no games, or unlimited games but no games? Those are
Wait,
the
unlimited
options.
games, but no social. Wait,
And also, it's on the
unlimited
blockchain,
socialism, but no games.
and it's on the blockchain.
This feels like a fever dream. Like this feels like the nightmares that I have where I envision I'm live and talking bullshit and like everyone's making fun of me. This is that right now. Just
Josh,
Well,
we need,
actually,
Josh,
this
we
is-
need
so
our
this is really
T-Mobile roast
funny.
of the stream. I forgot we didn't get one this one. Can we get our
Oh.
T-Mobile's roast
T-Mobile's
of the
roast.
stream?
So this is really funny, actually. Real quick. So remember that ninja thing that was just
Yeah.
done? Yeah. So I was like, we're doing the weekly stand-up, and my wife just brought me dinner.
Oh my god, yes.
But this
We
shit was
Exact
raw.
same scenario.
love that.
No, we're not talking about the. I mean, it's perfect. I have to explain it. I'll have to explain it later.
Here at Weekly Stand Up.
I'll be real. When we were talking about that, I was thinking about how literally last week's show my girlfriend did that for me.
Right?
Not the
You've
sexual
been
part.
watching
Just brought me some food. Like just
Okay,
I didn't
alright,
ask for it. Just like
alright,
here's some food. I'm like, oh, thank you.
It must be so nice to have a partner who loves and cares for you and makes you food. And
And that self-deprecation was a T-Mobile's roast of the stream.
Yay.
We did it.
I love that it's over Josh's camera. It's my favorite.
Oh yeah,
part.
it's all because he was part of Overwatch League. That's how we decided it. Is that
That's
he
great.
was part of the sponsored Overwatch League by T-Mobile, so he will continue the T-Mobile sponsorship.
Please sponsor us, T-Mobile. We need money. We're doing this for free right now. We're all very tired.
but also let your
Very, very
competitors into your space wherever you're an internet provider.
Yeah, I
first.
want Google Fiber. They freaking unionized. I should be able to have Google Fiber wherever the frick I want. So fuck off, AT&T. Oh wait,
Wait,
T-Mobile.
don't-
Another
Well,
T.
it's Spectrum out here. I don't know about you. At least for us, it's Spectrum.
Oh no, Spectrum is my internet now, and it craps out once a day.
The worst.
At least.
I have
have
Verizon
to
and
use the gentleman's throne. So what we're gonna do is wrap it out. Thank you. This has been
Wow.
another episode of the Weekly Stand Up. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the chat box. Come
Smash
follow
that
us
little
on-
notification bell to know when we go live. Follow us on YouTube and everything else.
I
wanna
we're
be
gonna
included
And
in
TikTok. Lots of TikTok.
Oh, yeah,
Lots
that.
of TikTok.
Well, we're going to be rating Jason Society, who is a fantastic streamer, weed advocate, who's participating in a marathon raising money for Food Not Bombs Baltimore. So
Fuck
give
yeah.
him a wave, shout out, all this other stuff.
Do it
Would
all.
you rather
Um,
have
yeah.
unlimited
No.
food and no bombs?
No, don't,
Or-
oh God.
Maidens.
I'm starting the raid.
Maiden.
I'm cutting it
We're
off.
leaving. Bye. Thanks for
Bye,
joining.
everyone.